Ooh, that's it. The little blue bars there. Today is Tuesday, the 18th of September, 2018. On the panel so far, we have Astral, Flat Earth Dude, and our lovely Robert Foertsch, which the title of the hangout says Weatherman.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on. I'm in Myrtle Beach right now, and there's beautiful puffy clouds, and it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous day. I think what I'll do is flip this around for a moment and just show you what it looks like right now as I drive for just a little bit. There's some water seeking its level. And we had a whole bunch of water that was seeking its level and will continue to do so. We're expecting a cresting of some of the rivers in the next 24 hours or so. And so, like in the area here, I'm driving by what's called Broadway at the beach, and it's a pretty large complex, an amusement park, and a lot of places to eat and tourist areas. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it's designed in such a way that it can handle massive amounts of water that can come in quickly, and then it needs to go somewhere. So that's needs to go somewhere else. That's the point. So like in the middle of the complex, it's like maybe 100 acres big or so, and in the middle of the complex is the highest point, and then there's just a gentle slope away, and then large, almost like not aquifers, but they're basically places for the water to flow through and out without flooding all the buildings. Now, where I do the actual recording and broadcasting on the Prince Pier in Cherry Grove, unfortunately, they had a substantial amount of water damage. Some of the wind, actually, several of the doors got blown open, and then what happened is they filled up with water, or there was a lot of water damage. So there's a lot of dehumidifiers and air moving systems that were brought in to dry it out. And when we look at that,
Robert,
that's yeah.
Robert. So was your area quite highly destroyed or just ruffled up?
No, it wasn't destroyed at all. What we ended up having was in, like, where we live, about 7 miles in from the ocean, there was anywhere from 75 to a little more than 100 mile an hour winds. The trees were bending over quite a bit. We have pine trees that are probably about 50 to 70 feet tall in our backyard, which actually provide quite a windbreak, which is a real benefit for us. And then the other houses around us provide um, that that windbreak as well. And then it's nestled in a forest that uh, surrounds the area where we live. So what happens is the wind blows over the tops of a lot of the trees and doesn't, impact the structures as much as if they were sitting on a treeless hill. It's quite a nice ability to have a windbreak that we live in there. But what ends up happening now is we had a lot of water come
Robert,
down.
can I just say something? There's a little bit of interference happening. I don't know what it is, like your headphones or something. There's something
Okay,
crack.
am I cutting in and out?
No, it's that. That's it. That's the noise.
Okay, is it clearer, better now?
Yes.
Wonderful. Glad to hear that. Yeah, thanks for letting me know. That's been a bit of an ongoing issue with the iPhone 10, as it has a different connecting port, a little lightning plug that fits into my headphone, and that area right there seems to be an issue. And it's kind of interesting because just wetting it a little bit, and I did that earlier, typically gets my connectivity. And from what I understand, water itself isn't conductive. However, saliva is. It's more than water. So yeah, the water is pretty amazing. I did a live broadcast this morning showing the beauty of a sunrise out there at the pier, and just a gorgeous day. Wonderful to see the pretty clouds and all of that. Blue skies, beautiful clouds, and unfortunately there was a fatality, at least one I heard about in Wilmington, a mother and a child went out. So I don't know how many other fatalities occurred. But the part of what I wanted to talk about is in the forecasting of the weather system, there was talk about a massive amount of wind that was more than we realized when it came ashore. Um, Interestingly enough, there's a video linked to my Hurricane Florence live video that I put out, and it's in the comments. It was
Hey, Robert, I just
about
thought, Robert,
a
I just thought,
lady who went to the no. Well, she went to. What's that?
I
Didn't
just
hear you.
thought, just explain where you are and what you've been through.
My signal is kind of lacking a little bit.
Is it all right?
Well, I'm hearing some of the words that you're saying, I think. It's like it's cutting you off. So give me a test, 1, 2, 3.
It might be me. I was trying not to do it on my phone. Just hang on a minute. I'll come on my phone. I bet it's better. Hang on. Oh, dearie me. 2 seconds.
You sound all right now, Karen, though.
Well,
That's,
you're
Oh, do I? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then it's then.
You're breaking up a bit, Robert.
Am I breaking up now?
No.
No.
Okay.
I just said, Robert, in case anybody who doesn't know you in the chat room, where do you live and what have you just been through?
Okay, so I live South Carolina. North is the furthest north of South Carolina. So we're probably about an hour away from Wilmington, about 50 miles, 50 to 60 miles south of Wilmington, where most of the damage from the storm occurred, from what I understand. And what I was going to mention on the broadcast that I did, shared it to a bunch of groups. It's got, I believe, over 5,000 views right now. And I was in the ocean, right on the edge of the coastline there, to show what it looked like then, with the tide coming up and in and the storm surge and that. Now, there was a lady who did a video, I believe she has the YouTube channel of Plain Truth, and what she did is went to the site, which has readings on the buoys that are out in the ocean. Interestingly enough, where it was reported to be, the buoys were registering less than a 30-mile-an-hour wind. So what I have talked about and created a page to cover it, weather wars, and what's going on with that. Since the early 40s, we've had weather modification technology that's been implemented to create and or steer storms. And that's a big deal because in the world we live in, we've got droughts and floods. And there are people that are manipulating are illegitimate or just corporations that pay to have this type of work done, where aerosol particulate is added to some of the fuels of the jets, and outright spraying that goes on as well, introducing chemicals such as aluminum, barium, strontium. And I've got on my Weather Wars page a documentary that talks about weather modification. They're not hiding it. It actually happens. There's all kinds of patents on it. One of the dynamics is there's electricity that's added to the atmosphere. For example, the ionosphere, as I understood it to be, may actually be more like the effects where they would say they were bouncing it off the ionosphere, it's very likely that they're bouncing the frequency, the directed energy activation off of the what the Bible refers to as the firmament. And so there's a dome above us. We live. I forgot to deactivate my my phone, so there we are. You can still hear me, right?
Yeah, you sound a bit better now.
Yeah, good. I had a call that came in. I forgot to disable my calls for this broadcast. Sorry about that. But what I wanted to mention too is this isn't just happening in the United States, it's happening worldwide. Now, to realize that we don't live on a spinning ball, the world weather modification makes a bit more sense to me. The way that hurricanes rotate, the way that water actually works. So even like the little puddle on a driveway, that'll show you where the low spot is in that area, or the lake, or the retention pond, or whatever it is. Undisturbed water is flat and level, and it doesn't stick to a tennis ball, and it certainly doesn't stick to a large oblate spheroid that they say we live on. The globe.
Robert, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
What was it like?
Yeah.
What was it like filming all that in the hurricane?
It was great. It was great to have the technology that I did and be close to a protected area. So I was right in front of where I was staying on the 12th floor of an oceanfront condo. The client that we do the cleaning for wanted us to make sure that the doors were set up to be, barred. What we do is we put a stick in the door so that it doesn't blow open. But where I was, it was really nice. I was able to go out there, do the recording, or I was going to record from the balcony, but what I did is I ended the broadcast and then went inland. See, one of the problems is that the water is so powerful that when the tidal surge comes in, the storm surge, what it can do is it can move the weaker structures, like the old beach houses, in that can get pushed across the road. Keep in mind, we were under a mandatory evacuation, so it's not like people are supposed to be there. So if a house gets dropped in the middle of a road, it may be a while before it gets cleared off. You could walk out of there when the wind stops, but I didn't want to be stranded there, even though I could be, like 170 feet up in the air in a steel reinforced concrete structure. Very likely I would have been just fine. It's just that we had other obligations to take care of. We had a friend stay with us who needed a bit more personal care that Joni provides care for as well. And when the power went out, we brought him over to our house because the situation was pretty serious. He lives in a lower lying area. It'd be really devastating. One of the things to keep in mind, a lot of those for in a bathroom, you're supposed to have a GFCI circuitry. Well, if the house floods and you have power,
Robert, you're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, I was going to say, is it just...
There's a lot of particulate in the water. Go ahead, Astral.
Sorry, you're breaking up a little bit. You're back now.
Yeah, you're wandering in and out with your something over there, Robert.
Is it coming through better now?
I hope
Testing,
everybody
1, 2.
Chat room. Everybody got a blog.
Okay, so...
Sound a bit distant, actually, Robert, like your microphone's not plugged in or something.
Okay.
No, we lost him.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Did you hear all three numbers?
That's better.
Okay,
yeah, that was
great.
a good one.
So what I did is I unplugged the Connect, little spit on them, and plugged them back in for years. When Joni and I were first married, we lived in Seal Beach, California, and an answering machine wasn't working. I had never even done it before. I just put a little spit on the connector to plug the adapter in, the power system, and it worked. Some of the things that I figure out kind of happen like as I go. I may not plan on doing it. It just kind of works out that way. But
break up a bit again, Robert.
The connectivity is a big, much. Well, sorry about that. Is that a little better now?
Yeah, it's so annoying though.
I don't think it's your fault. I don't think it's your fault, Robert. I think it's Florence's fault. You know, it's obviously done something to the infrastructure.
Yeah, the Hurricane Florence. Well, you know what was interesting about all that is that we did have a mass exodus of vehicles, and what I noticed very interesting that it was missing was an influx of fuel trucks. I would have expected, with as much notification as we had, that there would be fuel trucks coming this way to replenish the gas stations, the fueling to be seen. So it was really kind of interesting. I noticed a lot of the gas stations are functioning now, but so for example, there were lines, long fuel lines, and then the bags went on the pumps, which meant no more fuel. And so that's all kind of an interesting thing. One of the things that I did is installed what's called an inverter on my car. It's a 2,000 watt inverter that takes 12 volt electricity, converts it to 120 volt. So I was able to run our refrigerator and keep the food from spoiling, which was a nice opportunity to be able to do that. And it ran really nice and quiet. One of the things that maybe you don't think about much in a power outage, it's not just that the refrigerator gets cold, the inside of the house gets warm, and there's a lot of humidity. So part of what can happen is that the water infiltration can be a real problem for bacteria and mold to form in some of the places that maybe didn't get proper fire and storm remediation. If they get black mold, people can get brain illness from that. So that's kind of a big deal.
Black mold is very bad.
Yeah, in fact, I worked with a gentleman in Wisconsin that had that illness, blastomycosis, I believe it's called. It's where the mold actually eats away at the brain and is debilitating. So that's kind of a big deal. It happened to such an extent he had to have a job change. He was a truck driver, and they had to have him as a support staff in a different capacity because it really wasn't good for him to be on the road anymore. It's just kind of interesting how those things can work on out. A change of life because of a change of brain function or physical capacity. And that's part of what I'm trying to help people to understand is how important it is to keep the toxic, harmful chemicals out of and off of our bodies. Like, a lot of people are unaware that sunscreens have some really harmful chemicals in them, where coconut oil and shade is a good way to go. And that's just a practical way to deal with it. So
Hey, Robert, can I ask you something? Were you
absolutely.
Were you ever worried in this hurricane at all about your safety or the
No,
house?
I wasn't really worried. And just to tell you, one of
Just
the
to say to
dynamics.
everybody that comes onto the channel knows that I put a couple of what was happening to you in Florence hurricane. I put that on Sun and Moon, so if they've watched it, they know that you were battling in the car park.
Oh, thanks so much, Karen. I appreciate that. Well, one of the things that happened, I was on the phone with Joni, and I heard an odd sound in the garage. And it's a steel reinforced garage door that is supposed to be able to handle over 160-mile-an-hour winds. Well, what was happening was the door was bowing in a little bit, and I'm not saying that that it was ready to fail. However, what I was able to do was put a steel shelving system between that and the pool table to stop it from pushing in. Now, because of the aerodynamics of a house taking a headwind, like pushing the garage door in, if that were to buckle, it could blow the windows out of the house. That's how big of a deal it is. And then it just fills up with water. We've got 8 cats. They could go flying all around the place. I gave all the kitties a bath
So
today. They
you were
enjoyed
like,
that. Go ahead.
like I was in the hurricane of the 80s. There was a bad one. It knocked down a lot of trees here in the 80s. I can't remember what year it was now. My son was born, so about 86, something like that, 88. And I remember.
Do you remember the name of that hurricane, Karen?
Pardon?
Do you remember the name of it?
I'll have to look it up. It's really bad of me, but no, I can't remember. But
when is this?
In the 80s. But I remember the glass going. It's like the glass was like breathing in and out and in and out, and I was like, oh my goodness! I could hear things like garden chairs, swing chairs, all these things were flying around outside down the streets, and things were crashing and banging, and the glass was going in and out. So was it like that for you?
Well, not so much like that, but there sure was a lot of wind around. Good to see you, Sandy.
I'm gonna I have to write you a check because I don't have any cash.
Oh, okay. I'll just wait right here then.
Well, can I just give it to Joni?
Sure.
Okay.
That'll work out great, Sandy. Good to see you. I hope you enjoy your time with your dad. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Does Sandy know the Earth's flat?
No, she thinks I'm crazy. Well,
wow.
that's convenient, and that's part of what I wanted to talk about today. I did a live broadcast called Truth Seekers. It was Truth Seeker #Truth Seeker ? Are you a truth seeker? Do you want to know the truth? And that's one of the challenges, is because there's a lot of people that want to believe what they want to believe, and they look for information to support their belief, the one that they want to have. And how I came into this was I wanted to know the truth more than anything else. And it wasn't the truth about the shape of the earth. It was the truth about, hey, when I can't fog a mirror anymore, where am I going to be? When this earth suit of mine stops working, where will I be? And so that's kind of the backdrop that I bring to the discussion of all the conspiracies, is what is the truth? And the reality of it is there are so many actual conspiracies, and intermingled with those actual conspiracies would be what I would term ridiculous theories that cause a lot of people to just say, I don't know, I can't know for sure, I don't want to think about it. And then they drift off into whatever form of distraction that they engage in. And for some, it's video games. For some of them, it might be philanthropic outreaches. It could be crossword puzzles. It could be any one of a bunch of different things. That's one of the dynamics that humanity engages in, is a lot of distractive activities that don't really have any eternal value. And that's part
Right.
of where I bring what I believe to be an eternal perspective to the discussion. And so on my YouTube channel, what I typically do is I'll take a Facebook broadcast and I'll download it to my computer and upload it to YouTube. So here's kind of the way that this works out. I couldn't do much with even a Palm Pilot not too long ago. And now I get to do things that I never even thought I would be able to do. And that's
Yeah.
part of the where I realize, wow, I'm
A lot
not
of people
actually
don't.
the what's that?
A lot of people don't know what a Palm Pilot is.
Oh yeah, okay. So a Palm Pilot is old school technology
It's
of
really
like
old.
a little mobile computer, and then we got cell phones and smartphones, and for me the learning curve has been okay. So like when I was actually born again about 4 years ago, I was like totally changed. I could do things that I couldn't do before. That was one of the clues that wow, something happened here. It's more than I'm not a drug addict and an alcoholic anymore. It was more than
Mm-hmm.
that. Is beneficial as that is, the fact that I like kitties. I used to hate cats. Now we've got 8 cats. I love them all.
Oh, you're a crazy cat dude. No.
Yeah, I am. So part of the
Crazy flat Earth cat dude.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
that's
spin
right.
as well. There's spin.
You got,
Well,
you got,
so what
you got a
happens
cool
is,
thing going.
yeah, now a lot of times, I mean, the way that I looked at this earlier was that it was just Big Brother pre-programming humanity into believing conspiracy or truth tellers are crazy. It goes
Yeah.
beyond that. It's way beyond that. We're, as best I can tell, the human nature is got a
Hey,
pretty
Robert.
clear. Yeah, go ahead.
Robert, in the chat room, Suzette Ann says, I love that you love cats, Robert.
Oh, thanks. I'm going to show them to you. Oh my, that's going to be so exciting. They're special cats. I'm home now, and so what I'll do is I'll take you for a walk around in a little bit and show you the
Did
naked
you get any
kitties.
damage? Did you get
What's
any
that?
damage? Did you get any damage?
No, no damage. No damage for us. Not here. That was nice. Now, it could have been serious if the doors to the house failed.
It was just said to me, the earth is cat.
Yeah, if the earth was flat, cats would have knocked everything off of it, right? We've heard that one, I think. I know I have. Let's see. So I'm gonna go ahead and rig up my tripod here, and
Okay.
I've got a little bit of wind out here. So I'm going to show you a couple of things that I like to incorporate into my broadcasts. And I'll just go ahead and get that up and running here. Okay, let's
Yeah,
see.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Okay.
Undo it.
So here we are in the front yard, and I've got the wind chimes, which would be a total impossibility on a spinning, wobbling oblate, gyrating. I like to throw gyrating in there, oblate spheroid.
Right.
Yeah, see, these things couldn't hang upside down in relationship to other wind chimes. What I ended up finding out, so like for example, here's one of my water jugs, my shadow there, and even though what happens when I drop the jug in, like it's really heavy on my finger right now. When I drop it in there, it starts getting really light. That's actually pretty amazing to me how that all works out. On one of the videos, I used the globe. I pushed it in there and it made all the water go out all around it. It's kind of interesting because reality actually exposes the global lie. Isn't that something? Oh, let me pan around and show you all the beautiful white clouds. One of my friendly neighbors there. So one of the other things I'll show you here too is just a practical resource. I've got the YouTube Eternal Perspective car. One of my neighbors coming on by. This is kind of cool. Oh gosh. And then I get to put this on the garage door too when the car isn't there. And what's been happening is kind of interesting. Because I'm wearing the shirt and driving the car, I get, with the labeling on it, I get new subscribers almost every day, quite a few. I finally went over 1,000. There's Frank. He's not sure what to make of the tripod. He's our special needs cat.
Come here, Frankie. Hey.
Hey, buddy.
Hello, Frankie. How are you?
He's a big boy. He's our heaviest cat. Now there's Lily and Dean,
Joey,
and Annabelle,
Isabel.
Lily. Yeah, I gave them all a bath this morning. First I got to catch them.
Oh, Daddy's home. Daddy's home.
And this is Annabelle. She's about 22 years old.
Oh, wow.
And these other kitties, they're about 5 to 7 years old. Not exactly sure. Looks like there's a cat in here.
There's always a cat on the bed.
I've got a couple of them in
my
here.
Cat's always hanging out on the bed there.
Oh, this looks like Smeagol.
He's a cat. Is stuck in. Oh, wow.
Now this one is Pearl. They call her the elf variety because she's got the little elf ears. And that's Olive.
All short hairs.
Yeah. They call them Sphinx.
Sphinx.
Uh-huh.
That's cool.
So like right now, this is the audio Bible that I merged with the beauty of the title activity going in there. I'll just mute that for a moment. But isn't that pretty out there?
That's gorgeous.
So like right here, that island had a lot of dead trees laying down there. And about 2 years ago, some young men almost drowned out there. I called 911 to get them rescued. And now, and they were rescued, and that worked out okay. And now, because of the change of the contour of this area, the velocity of the water flushed all those dead trees out. So the photography looks different. The flow pattern is different. Instead of it being really flat there, there's a mound of sand. So it restricted the size of the orifice that the tide goes in and out of in that coastal preserve. It's got to do with, fluid dynamics, hydrodynamics, you could call it. Now I'm looking for Smeagol. I don't know where Smeagol is hanging out. He's hiding. Hey, Dean. Yeah, Dean likes to follow me around. Even like in the morning when it's really early, he'll follow me all over the place. All right.
All right, crazy cat, flat earther.
Up here, Smeagol. Woohoo!
That's awesome. Thank you for showing us that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Favorite.
Yeah,
Robert, he's your favorite.
Yeah, Smeagol is the favorite cat. Joni loves him, and I do too. He's adorable. And when on a given time, like when I'm sitting at the computer, I'm sitting in my big leather chair, there will be cats all over me at times. Or when I'm sleeping, they'll be, like I'll have a half a dozen cats in the bed, and some of them are sleeping on me or next to me. They love the sunshine, and I got them all up and about now. It's kind of fun. So let's see, where can I take this? Well, I know what I wanted to mention is a lot of times, the technical term is well, I cut everybody off the view there, is confirmation bias. People want to believe what they want to believe. So if they people that want to believe we're crazy, that works convenient for them. It's kind of hardwired into us that we look at people that present new information that makes us uncomfortable, and we don't want to consider it like that. It's easier to just say, oh, they're crazy. They're a conspiracy theorist. They're a kook. They're a tinfoil hat wearing kind of person. Well, in reality, it has more to do with people that are not intimidated to share the truth are going to be ostracized by much of humanity that doesn't want to hear it. Interestingly enough, though, that same group of people will stay glued in front of a television, get all kind of bad news, and they just keep sucking it up. You ever think about it like that? How is that? The car crashes, the this or
Robert,
that. Yeah.
Today I just copied a link over. I put it on the Sun and Moon Facebook.
Excuse me.
It had these two news readers. They're supposed to be doing a satellite link, and then people noticed that when a car drove past one, it drove past the other one, and in the same car park, pretending they were on a satellite link.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Well,
It's on the Facebook group. I copied it over to a couple of other groups, but how can they do? Oh my goodness! Like what?
Could I just say something based on that too?
Sure.
This is just in the last few days. They were doing a report on Florence, and there's a weatherman, and he stood like almost back to the wind, almost falling over, and then a couple of people walked past in the far background, and they're just walking normally.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, there was one
ridiculous.
Waist. It made it look like he was up to his waist in water, and behind him people were walking.
Oh, yeah. And why did they do that? That goes
to make it look 100 times. I'm not saying in certain places it wasn't bad and it was worse for others, but they wanted to make it look like it was much worse.
Yeah. And that serves a purpose. The thing that I really want to help us to look at is that the same people that don't want to hear us tell them the truth about things many times want to bathe their mind and their attention into news. Whoa. Yeah, that's Dean. So the idea of that is the television, it has he's ramming the camera there. The television has a flicker rate to it and a brainwashing component that is very, very powerful. And the system knows that. They're utilizing that benefit. So in one of the ODD has done some excellent work on mind control programming. And the Central Intelligence Agency, I love mentioning the alphabet agencies, the CIA, the FBI, the NSA, DARPA, and then we've got, what are your controllers over there of the police state? What are the names of some of your organizations?
MI5.
MI5.
MI6.
Yeah.
GCHQ.
Yeah, and you see the different shows that we've seen with like James Bond. James Bond on the movie set of the moon landing. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course we have. Yeah.
So or the Stanley Kubrick putting. Yeah, here comes Smeagol. Yeah, Stanley Kubrick putting the movie The Shining. It was a pretty elaborate mention of the moon landing hoax in his movie, and he didn't. I think Eyes Wide Shut I think he died shortly after that. That's what I understood happened.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So
Before it was finally released, he died, didn't he?
Yeah. And so on some of this, I'm not sure how all the details work out. I'm not sure where he was in relationship possibly with the Illuminati. I don't know. People can be apparently involved pretty deeply, get a lot of the toys, a lot of the wealth and the fame, and then they get their ticket punched. They get eliminated. And so part of like what I talked about today is what would it profit a man if he gained the whole world and lose his soul? So there are people that will trade fame and fortune for their soul. Not me. I wouldn't do it. And see, that's part of the, like there are those that say, like Katy Perry said, she used to be a gospel singer. It didn't work out for her, so she sold her soul to the devil. That's what she said. I sold my soul to the devil. And so ODD did a video called American Satan, where he elaborated on some of the Illuminati activity and how this actually is happening. Now, one of the dynamics that I allude to from time to time is what's viewed by some as the transpocalypse, where there's transgender individuals that are masquerading one gender and living another. So, like when I was in Costco today and I saw a really manly looking woman with a young child, it never would have even registered with me that could have been an adopted child and a tranny. Could be, I don't know. What I do know is that my brother actually worked on movies in Hollywood, did a bunch of plaster casts of celebrities you may be aware of, like Robin Williams. My brother did a life cast, a plaster cast of me smiling like that. I was his only smiling plaster cast. Of course, that was in the 80s, and I was high on marijuana, and I was all happy, and he casted my face. And he also did Robin Williams' plaster cast of his face, and then a mold off that. He's got hundreds of busts, not only from the shoulders up or faces of men. He did women's actual busts, breasts. And it was funny when our sons moved, and I moved my brother from Hollywood to here. We had a whole bunch of plaster boobies to move. It was funny. Here they were pretty young, and they were all nursed as children, and it was just kind of surreal to carry all these in. Celebrities, Angelina Jolie, other women apparently, but maybe not. And that's kind of the reason why I wanted to mention that is that deception is a big part of what Hollywood is all about, and Satanism actually has a lot to do with is deceiving people. So my brother worked on movies where he made a woman that wasn't pregnant look pregnant. They use silicone or a foam pad that makes it look like they have a baby, and that's just kind of
They have really, really good special effects in Hollywood. You betcha, the best ever.
And he worked with
You
that.
you saw the movie Gravity, right?
I didn't see it yet. I heard they did a
God.
really good job with that.
Are you kidding me? It looked more real than anything NASA ever put out. I'll tell you that. It looks so real.
I wonder.
I think that film helped Flat Earth, to be honest. I think people, when they saw that, was the big. That to me was I could see the waking up started happening there. If the film looked better than the real thing, how could the real thing be real?
Well, and that's part of the dynamic. I was just going to ask or have us consider that is what do people do with that? I think it goes right over their head. I believe they're not recognizing the reality that special effects in Hollywood are that good. that they make some of the what is supposed to be actual look fake. How is that? How do people process that? I think one of the reasons. Okay, so I've got a meme that I downloaded to my computer and uploaded to my photo album. I take pictures at the beach, people enjoying it and all that, and also I'll take memes and I'll integrate them in there, and it shows the NASA serpent tongue, the NASA logo, because atheists need a religion too. That's what the meme said. Really powerful statement. Memes, I believe, are a very complex, power packing, impacting presentation of visual and linguistic that causes people to think, causes people to get really angry sometimes too. Could I be one of the reasons why Facebook is editing memes out? Could be. I mean, when I drop the link of my photo album, it contains a lot of memes in there and thousands of photos that are also meant to just engage people in recognizing the reality of what we are living in. Go ahead.
Can I say something, Robert? Yeah, I've just, it's funny that you're mentioning this now, especially memes anyway. I've heard that memes are difficult to pick up, but they've actually now got a new, is it called Rosetta? A new kind of a tool that will, analyze these memes so that it can make sense of them. I do believe it's called Rosetta, if I'm not wrong anyway, something like that, or Rosa, whatever. There was a program on TV only an hour ago to do about Facebook, their censorship, and how things are occurring around the world that Facebook are more or less, well, they're the police, aren't they? They're saying, you can see this, you're not allowed to see that. You know, and it's this censorship that I think it's going to come and bite them in the ass someday, you know, someday soon.
Well, and part of the dynamic here too is that we get suggested or recommended videos. I do. They're trying to shape my worldview. They're trying to direct it the way they want it to be.
Hey, they're failing. They're failing, Robert. They're failing.
Yeah,
you're winning.
Isn't that cool?
Isn't it cool? Yeah.
So, like what I did, I took my
They're trying
P900.
hard, man. They're trying real hard. But
So,
we're winning. We're winning, baby.
So here's one of the things that I did that you might like. On my photo, I found the video that Stranger Than Fiction did, where it shows the nose of the jet flying through the World Trade Center tower intact. You can see the nose cone of the jet coming out the other side. Well, that's not possible. Birds dent up a nose cone. Steel reinforced concrete crushes it. So what I did was I stopped the video right when the nose cone came through the other side, took my P900, but now I've got two up here. It could have been just a cell phone I did the same thing with, and took a picture of it and then copied and pasted the link onto the comment section for 9/11. My celebration of 9/11 wasn't a candlelight service. It was me creating a 9/11 truth page, showing some hard-hitting imagery captured out of the videos, and then linking the video in the comment. See, I've got right now over 1,300 videos on my liked video playlist, and on some of those pictures, I'll link videos that are related to it, like the Great Culling is the fluoridation of water, and I've linked that to the one that's dealing with pharmaceuticals, the drugging of humanity. Some of humanity is being drugged with electronic distraction. We release I should say drugs are released, chemicals, neurotransmitters are released in our brain when we see something that makes us afraid, like a horror movie. Or then there's different chemicals that are released for a romantic comedy, that type of thing. So some of humanity is being manipulated by the audio visual. I would say all of it is. And then there's another layer that's being drugged in the food and the water. And I went ahead and posted once again the video Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. In fact, I created a page that has that video as the video that you would click on. When you go to one of those pages that I create, oh, sorry about that extreme close up. Excuse me here. So what I'll do, I create the page, and then the video is the beginning of the playlist. So if you click on the video, you can actually watch hundreds, actually thousands of hours of video. I think I might have had somebody knock at the door. I've got to. No, I think Dean is causing trouble. Dean's our troublemaker.
Was it your camera that you were waiting for then?
Well, you know, like I mentioned earlier, I actually got the camera, and I'm gonna
one the P100, whatever it is, P1000. Oh, we seem to have lost Robert.
What's that?
Oh, you're there. What is it? The P1000.
Yeah, here. I wanted to show you. This is the P900. Let me flip that around. So that's the 900. And let's see. Here's the. I'm gonna take the P1000 out and show you the difference in size. It's about twice as much weight. It's a massive camera.
Whoa.
It's a whopper. It's like twice as big, I would say.
Stand back. I don't know how big this thing's gonna grow.
Now, when I just to let you see something as well.
P900s, they're big enough.
So that's fully extended. That would be 125 magnification, and then the P900 is 83 times magnification. So the size difference is, I believe, pretty massive. So I'm probably not going to sell the 900. I'll probably keep that around. It's a really lightweight, easy to use camera in comparison to the P1000, but I'm glad I have them both. I'll probably keep on using them. They're using them both, I should say. They're a weapon of mass instruction. That's how I see it, and basically exposing the reality of the world that we actually live in. And that's part of what we're doing here, is helping people to see what we're really living in. What is this world actually like? So, for example, now we don't have much in the way of puddles, where right in the middle of the road there's a storm drain down there. And if that wouldn't have been pumped out by a vacuum truck a couple weeks ago, we would have had this neighborhood all flooded. That's just the way it would have worked out. And part of the way that it...
In the chat room, Raz put P1000 globe killer.
Oh yeah, it certainly is. And you know, it was really funny when I went into Best Buy. The young lady that helped me there recognized me from the PewDiePie video. She knew who I was.
Really?
I thought,
Robert.
yeah.
That's awesome, Robert. Superstar, man.
Now I think that video has somewhere in the neighborhood of like 6 million views. And then there's other videos out there where me saying we don't have toilet water flying out on people in Australia because of gravity. Well, hello, it's just water seeking its level. That's what it does. Fills its container, covers the face of the earth, seeks level. It's not just that it seeks level from left to right. It seeks level in all directions. So the puddle in the road, the lake that you go out to be near, or the beach, that water is seeking its level continually. So that's one of the illustrations that I think is very important to consider. When we take a shower, all of our interaction with water exposes the reality of the world that we actually live in, not the science fiction world that we're told we live on. Now, here's where it gets really, really interesting, is that the artificial intelligence that is tracking, tracing, databasing all of our digital activity and more actually is fabricating a false reality. Many of us know this, computer graphic imagery. What I used to think was amazing images from space, it was all fake. It's all fakery. And I didn't know that. Not all of it, just most of it. Because we can't go light years away. We can't go on the other side of the firmament. It gets real wet. There's a lot of water up there. One of the reasons why people get upset when we tell them that something like, we didn't go to the moon, is because what does that all mean? That means they're going to have to think a little bit. And if they find out that, or if they come to believe that we're living in a created world, well, that means there's a creator, right? A lot of people want to have the perspective of a godless cosmic Big Bang, that we're stardust, like Carl Sagan said, or we get the different evolutionists that give us this false reality. It's not real. It's not real. We don't have any change of species. That would be the big clue if or proof if evolution were real. Well, it's not. So in truth seeking, a lot of people, like I continually say, believe the lie they want to believe. And by irony and paradox, the deceived don't know they're deceived. With pride as a powerful catalyst, many of those individuals
I find
are going
myself saying a statement that you say, Robert. They don't know because they don't know.
Well, not only don't they know, they think they do. That's part of the irony about it. They consider themselves very wise. A lot of people do. They consider themselves
they consider
very
themselves
wise.
living on a 1,000-mile-an-hour spinning ball.
Oh, I've got something for you. Let's see if I can put this together. I did it. I did it before. It's one of my. It's from a couple of props from the 60s. Let's see, where is he? I'm looking for the little troll doll. Joni's little troll. Oh man, I'm not finding him. She might have hit him. I don't know. It was one of those little troll dolls with the long hair.
If you want to find a troll, just go look in the chat room.
Oh, there you go. Well, what I did with the troll was I had him on the. I did it on one of my videos. I had him on the globe and then I dropped him so his head hit this. And he just fell right off of there. See, water can't stick to that. That's just not real.
No, I can't. It's not going to do that.
Yeah, and that's part of the dynamic of. Here, I'll use one of her little dolls. Oh, one of her little bobblehead dolls. Okay, let's see if I can make
this is funny.
There's a little bit too much hair for the sound, but I'll give it a shot. Yeah, that'll work. Let's do it again. Frank's got to check that out. What do you think, Frank?
Oh, dearie me.
Yeah. Yeah, the little
flat Earth Frank.
Yeah. So part of the dynamic that is so obvious is the impossibility of living on a globe. Like the young lady that I talked to earlier today when I bought the camera, she said, I was thinking about that. It seems kind of silly living on a globe. I said, It's more than silly. It's not possible. Yeah.
It's impossible.
That's right. That's right. It's absolutely impossible.
At least she was thinking, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well,
you might be the one, man. You might be the one to wake her up, man. We all had
Well,
that person that said something that made us go, what?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, and it was really interesting. So, like, one of the dynamics, her name is Gabriella, and she works at Best Buy. And I said, "No, are you a Bible believer too?" She said, "No, not really. I used to be. Now, I didn't go into any detail about what happened with that.
You didn't hit her over the head with the Bible? What's wrong with you?
No. Yeah, that's not how I
I
roll.
know. I'm just teasing you, man.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So part of the dynamic too is curiosity is a catalyst for consideration. People, when they're curious, are more interested and receptive to learning new information. And
absolutely.
So that's part of the dynamic. That's why, it was so cool to see her light up when I said, "Yeah, I'm the guy in the Flat Earth video talking about the toilet water." And she said, "Yeah." It was kind of funny because she knew it was a PewDiePie video. She's one of his 65 million subscribers. When he started making fun, we know people in the Flat Earth community, like Celebrate Truth has like a little more than 100,000 subscribers, or Rob Skiba maybe 150, Mark Sargent like 72,000.
ODT, couple 100,000.
Yeah, so check this out. PewDiePie had 61 million subs when he first made fun of Flat Earth.
Yeah.
After his first video, within a couple of months, he had 65 million. He picked up 4 million subscribers just by trying to make the reality sound ridiculous.
Right.
It's popular.
Ridiculous reality.
Yeah. And that's a biblical paradigm. One of the things that they talked about in the Bible is that wrong.
Before it goes off the thing, Brandon says, "Thanks for that, Robert." The doll on the ball.
Hey, you're welcome. Yeah. So like one of the things is they say that wrong is right and right is wrong, and that's part of the reality that we're getting.
As well. Sorry to interrupt you. Let's be practical in the chat room, says Karen. Would you be kind enough to tell Robert I said hi?
Sure, thanks. And that's let's be practical.
Yeah.
How nice.
Let's be practical.
Let's be practical.
Yeah, we had a
advice.
private hangout today. He's a really nice guy. Hello there.
Hey, thank you so much.
I'd like to say, sorry, Robert.
Sure.
I'd like to say hello to Let's Be Practical as well. He's a very nice guy. Yeah, we're going to get him on here one day, hopefully. You'll love him. He's brilliant.
Well, it's kind of interesting the different things that we can learn from other people. That's part of the amalgamation that we are. It's not just
that's why we do these hangouts so much. Is one, we don't have to leave our home usually.
Yeah,
it's pretty easy. And then we can connect with so many people from around the world and get so much more information. It's absolutely essential that we keep doing this. This is amazing.
It's a big deal, and travel can be pretty expensive.
Cats are agreeing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Annabelle. She's I don't know why she walks around wailing, but she just she does that. I think I'm going to get some of that organic emulsion coffee. What I found out in this survival that I embarked on, wanting to survive the chemical assault on me, was actually to find out, oh, I'm going to use the microwave. There we go. How's that? That's a good camera holder. So like my coffee is emulsified coconut oil, highly purified water, and then I typically cool it off to the my preferred drinking temperature, and then it stays mixed up really good. But there's a medium chain fatty acid in coconut oil, which is really healthy for brain function, and that's a big deal. I need all the help I can get.
Yeah, I thought you were actually going to use the microwave. I know you don't like microwaves, so yeah, good camera holder.
Yeah, it was just a camera holder. Hey, why don't you tell me, does the light actually go off when I close the door? I did one of my videos doing that.
It did, but only for a second because you opened the door again, but it did.
Oh yeah. Well, here's Lily.
Yeah,
She
check
wants
the freezer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's all. Oh, so let me show you. Like in the freezer, this is what I've got for my. I'm gonna flip it or show you. These are all frozen, and there's spinach, kale, chia seed, mixed berries, applesauce, prunes, raisins, craisins, bananas, apple cider vinegar. It's super healthy. Super healthy. And then what I'll do is take one of them at a time and typically put it in here. And I use the Ninja to chop it all up and turn it into an emulsion. Actually, it's more of like a puree. And what happens is the neurotransmitters that our brain functions on are generated in the gut, right down here. And so we need healthy nutrition and and limiting our exposure to toxic chemicals. It's a big deal now. So like today, um, I took a nice long soak, a bath, and then I rinse off with the shower, and then I pour hot purified solar activated water over me, and then I'll use the coconut oil as like a body glove. It goes over all my skin, and then I'll wring it off. I'll squeeze the water out of my arms and the rest of my body and give like a deep tissue massage. What that does, it expresses the water from the muscle tissue. When I did professional level motocross riding, dirt bike riding, what I found out is that lactic acid causes pain and it reduces the capacity of muscle function. Well, changing the way that the muscles move, exercising different muscles can help release that. So does baking soda. So I put 2 cups of baking soda in the water, as hot as I could stand it, and then I exfoliate with a nylon scrubbing glove. And what it does is it takes the dead skin off, causes the release of the lactic acid, and it just feels great. And so I get the best of both worlds. Now in the bathtub, I can make the whirlpool run either way just by twirling it with my finger. There's no movement of the earth, and some people think that fake moon landings video and the way their toilet water spins is proof we live on a globe.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
Well,
yeah, you live on a spinning ball. Where they always say, "Where's the edge?" Yeah, I'm like, why don't you fall off of your ball? Hello.
Well, like Joni, my wife Joni says, there's no ice wall that could hold all the water in that covers the earth. I said, just go to the beach. You can see it there. It's nice and warm, but the water stops when the Earth gets higher.
Millions of miles of edge of shoreline. You know?
Yeah. We don't really know how far away these continents actually are. When I was going to the airport today to pick up Sandy, what occurred to me is there's got to be a whole lot of pilots aware that we don't live on a spinning globe, and they can't talk about it or they'll get grounded, right?
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's how that rolls. So part of the prison that many people live in. I'm out of the prison. I'm a free man, and part of the dynamic of that is, like I say, I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. Some people can't tell the truth. It'll cost them their life, or their livelihood, or their marriage. It might cost me my marriage. It looks like it will. Joni won't look into it. She'll say to me, "You're deceived by Satan." I said, "Well, show me in the Bible where you get that idea. Show me where you can get a globe, a description of a globe out of the Bible. I mean, the sun, moon, and stars, according to Scripture, move, and the Earth doesn't." Yeah.
Robert, the only thing that upsets me about flat Earth, it's this whole awakening and what you realise, and that, real flat earthers don't want the ego thing. It's opening up our consciousness. It's coming together in a different way, communicating, learning stuff that we never learnt before. And then you turn around with all these people who trusted you to be their mother, sister, whatever it was, lover, and they hate you. It's sort of like we're being persecuted.
Well, and that's part of the dynamic that go ahead.
Flat Earth, but they can talk about anything. So they're already putting that they can talk about anything, but you can't. And it just goes on, and you're just like, wow, all this sort of.
Well, like I mentioned today, some people are true. Some people love the truth, and some people just say they do.
Yeah, but I mean, with all our family and friends, it's kind of tearing us apart when this whole of flat Earth to us was bringing us together.
Well, the reality is that the truth is divisive. That's just what it does. The truth divides, and the truth is offensive to many, many people. They'll say they love the truth because that's the right answer.
That's in the Scripture, man.
Oh yeah,
the truth.
Yeah,
will divide.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, and then people largely believe the lie that they want to believe, to think we're crazy. So they're doing great. We're crazy. Oh well, and that's part of the dynamic of all this. Sure.
There's a sea change happening, man. Something's going on. More people are waking up because of people like you and Karen and myself, and we're all getting out there. We're showing people they don't live on this spinning ball, man, and shooting 1,000,000 miles an hour or whatever. And it's just, I ran into 12 flat earthers last Saturday.
Really?
On the streets.
So, like, were they all together in a group, or
no,
did you meet them individually?
I do a thing Saturday nights. I know you talk a lot about Hollywood, so we decided to kind of make fun of Hollywood with flat Earth. So
yeah.
On Saturday nights, we go out to flat Earth, Hollywood Boulevard, and we bring a bunch of flat Earth stuff, and we just sit there and we try to tell people the truth about where they live and what's going on in Hollywood and how they faking all this space and everything. So, and we've been doing it for about a month, and just 12 people just showed up out of nowhere. Yeah, hey, I love flat Earth, and I was like, what? So something's happening. Something's happening. There's
now what age group were they?
All kinds. They had a guy that made clothing. He's a flat earther. He had God and Jesus saved him, man. He was talking about how he got to see the flat Earth and figure it out. And there was young people from Europe, all over the world because it's a very touristy place. So
Oh
it was
yeah,
great.
yeah.
It was great. There was one whole family came by. Yeah, we're flat earthers. I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. This is crazy.
A whole
awesome.
family was?
Yeah.
Wow,
The
that's
wife, 2
unusual.
kids, the husband. It was great. So yeah, it's growing. We're getting out there. Everybody make a video, do something, talk about it. Tell your, local grocery store clerk, whatever. It's fabulous, man. I think we got a little bit of a change coming. This might not be the year, but maybe next year. I don't know. Maybe this year. I don't know. Something's going to happen.
Well, and the great news is that the people that okay, so I personally believe it's actually only by God's grace that anybody can love and believe the truth, let alone find it. We are swimming in a sea of deception around us, and it's so powerful. It's so powerful. Part of the dynamic for me was getting unplugged from the mind control of television. That was a big part of it. So, like when I walked in the house and I'm showing you the kitties, and I'm showing you the audio Bible on the TV, but it's the beauty of the ocean right there.
Right.
Other people can do that too. You can either put it on my channel, or there are other channels that have a lot of excellent content showing the beauty of creation, and that's part of the deal is getting out of the synthetic reality or the fake, the unreal world. Now, when you say you went to Hollywood Boulevard, Hollywood in California, right? We're in Hollywood, California.
Yeah, we want to talk about Thursday night.
You're breaking. Flat Earth Dude, say that again. You broke up.
Yeah. I think I might have had some sound problems there.
In California.
I think that's Flat Earth Dude as well. He's
Southern California. All right. Shout out to the chat.
Hey,
Shout out to the chat.
Flat Earth Dude, you broke up a bit.
Well, I'm going 70 miles an hour. Plus the spin of the earth, doing 1,070 right now. I am absolutely flying, man. Flying down the road. You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. We lost Robert?
No, he's just muted himself at the moment.
Oh, I just muted?
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to mute myself for a bit.
Go ahead and mute. Shout out to the chat. I don't know who's in there.
Could you explain your bit about Hollywood then? We didn't hear that bit. You broke up.
You want the Hollywood stuff?
Well, yeah, you were doing, and you broke up.
One more time. You're breaking up.
Just
too fast.
Yeah, just tell us a bit about your Hollywood stuff that you're doing, your flat smashing.
I don't know. We've been doing about 4 or 5 weeks, and we go every either Friday or Saturday night. Usually, we've been trying to go Saturday nights. It's just easier, a lot less traffic. Friday is kind of tough. I live about 32 miles from Hollywood, so I can drive out there. Sometimes it takes about 40 minutes, and sometimes it takes 2 hours. So you have to kind of pick your times well. But Saturday, we usually start at about 7 Pacific, and we'll go on maybe 3-4 hours. What we like to do is interview people on the street, and we got a beautiful flat Earth model that we bring with us, and it lights up and it shows the flat Earth. the AE map with a dome over it, and it lights up. So it's really kind of people think we're selling hot dogs. Hey, give me 2 hot dogs. And I'm like, dude, no, we're here to do flat earth, man. I give you a flat hot dog.
You have to start selling flatbreads or something, you know.
We're gonna start selling some flatbread or just giving it away or something. I don't know. Anyway, so we go out and we try to interview people live. We've been doing it on Poncho Pete's channel, and it's a great thing to say, because people go to Hollywood to like get discovered or whatever, or they don't mind being on camera in Hollywood. People just like
but that's pretty cool. Now one of the things you might want to consider is doing like a tortilla. It's a tortilla. And here's your it's a flat, and here's your guacamole. Your guacamole looks like the mountains, and we'll put a little sour cream around the edge. That's where it gets really cold out there. And then we'll put our salsa in there, and that'll be like maybe volcanoes or something. I don't know.
There you go.
But
put some salsa.
So I'm out. I just wanted to interject the food humor. So I'm going to mute myself again.
Oh, that's so great. Yeah, so we'll do some tortillas. We'll do some flat earth tortillas, man. I love it. And try to interview people. And last Saturday, man, I ran into like 12 flat earthers. We interviewed about 8 of them, I think. And I got it set up so they can hear a panel like we're on now with a Google Hangout. And the people on the panel can talk to the people in Hollywood on the street. And it's kind of fun that way. It makes it more interesting for the panel, and they can ask questions. And plus, we get a lot more brains thinking and talking and bringing up different points that are really, really important. And it's hard to think of everything on your own, Sometimes you get stumped. They ask you a question about something. You might not have an idea, but if you have a panel of people behind you, it's like, I don't know, what do you guys think? Help me out here or something.
It's all credit to those that go out and do, activism like that. All credit, because I was watching one today on my corner that Dave Marsh put on, and there was they were really being heckled.
Yeah, you can get really heckled. And not in Hollywood. We haven't got heckled at all, really. And we wear lab coats, and we carry around clipboards. So we look really, really smart. And that's kind of the flat earth uniform right now. There's a few people doing it. Josh, Authentic Intent, he's been wearing the lab coat. We're wearing them out here on the West Coast. I hear they're
more people talk to you if you're wearing a coat.
They do. They seem to really think we're like smart or something, and we are smart because we know the Earth is flat and not moving. But it's just a great thing to be out there with the people. I get so excited just talking to everybody and trying to wake them up. And it was so nice to have 12 different people coming up, families, and going, hey, man, we're with you, man. It's flat. And and it's just a great thing. So that's what I'm doing.
Even in Hollywood, there's some flat earthers.
Yeah, and it's a great spot. We got a nice location, and it's really easy in and out. I get there about 6:30, get set up. We go live around 7, and then I'll probably go till like midnight. So it's like 4 or 5 hours. And then Dan the Waterman, he'll take over, and sometimes he'll go till 2 or 3 in the morning. And I'm like, dude, I have to go home because it's late. But he carries on usually. And we have other flat earthers come out and meet us and help us out too. Sasha, which you've met, Karen, and Astral, she came out last weekend. And Uber Josh, he came out. It was really nice having them out there, just helping us out, because sometimes we get like.
You're right now, because he wasn't very well when you went to that beach party.
Yeah, he's a little bit better. Yeah, he's better. But he was great. He was talking. Sometimes we get 10, 12 people coming up, you know, and I'm like, so we need help out there. If anybody wants to come out to Hollywood and help us out, we'll get you a lab coat and let's do it.
Hey, Robert, do you like that kind of stuff, or do you like people coming up to you rather than coming up to you, or would you do what Flat Earth Dude does, go up to them or stand around them and?
Well, what happens with me quite a bit is people will come up to me, and it depends on what I'm doing. Now, if I'm doing a live broadcast, a lot of times they'll, there's Smeagol playing the piano. He's funny. Anyway, I got to tell you a story. So we had hurricane prep. We had hurricane preparation, and one of the things is to fill the bathtub up with water. Well, Smeagol didn't know the bathtub was filled up with water.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so he jumped in the bathtub and he jumped out real quick. And it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. He was running across those piano keys and playing a tune. So on the question, as far as people coming up to me, when I'm out there taking photos, people come up to me a lot. Right. And so that's kind of interesting. Now, because of the YouTube logo on my vehicle and shirt, a lot of people go there. And what I've noticed is the under 20-year-old especially, a lot of people look. Almost everybody that if they look, they look twice, it seems. You know, and then the younger children especially, it's like I'm somewhat viewed like by them as somewhat of a celebrity. They may not be as interested in Fox News or CNN, but you don't see a lot of those vehicles driving around. But a YouTube logo is kind of a big deal to them because they're familiar with YouTube videos.
Well, they grew up with it, yeah.
And I'm encouraging people to go ahead and do that kind of thing if you want to, is to have a YouTube channel and have that logo displayed wherever you want. It could be on your car, it could be on a shirt, it could be a business card that you hand out, or it could be on your on the screen of your smartphone. That's what so part of what I'll do is I have a business card taped on the inside of my car window on each side so people could take a picture of it. So to just kind of put this together, I've had people that I meet down on the pier, they're down on the sand, and they're talking to me, and I'm saying, I've got a live broadcast right now, and the guy goes there and goes right to my channel and is watching himself wave to himself on YouTube. Isn't that a trip? And, you know, like these people visit from all, and they visit from all over the world here too. That's one of the other interesting dynamics of the Myrtle Beach area, as well as California. I wanted to mention too, now Joni and I met in Seal Beach, California, and that's where we lived for several years. And my brother used to, go ahead.
I'm about 7 miles from there right now.
Wow. Now, where you live?
No, where I'm at right now. I live about 25 miles from Seal Beach, something like that.
So where is your city that you live in?
I live near the city of Disneyland.
Oh, Anaheim.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
East Anaheim.
Sure. In Garden Grove, home of the Crystal Cathedral. See, part of that whole modern evangelism, just to let you guys know, I'm going to digress a couple of steps back here into like synthetic Christianity. It's not necessarily the real thing. Like the Robert Schuller.
Like the Robert Schuller. I'll tell you a funny thing, man.
Sure.
My father-in-law.
Yeah.
And mother-in-law, my wife's parents, they go to Robert Schuller's church.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
The grandson.
Yeah.
He's running a church. Anyway, I had to go with him Father's Day. I was not. It was all they televised it, you know.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, okay, yeah, I'm here. It was. I don't know. It gave me kind of the creeps, man. It was kind of creepy. Anyway, go ahead.
Part of the dynamic of this is that Robert Schuller and then Rick Warren and Peter Drucker, they all kind of work together to come up with this kind of like a man-centered evangelism, and it also involved the I'm not sure if Peter Drucker was involved in the 501c3 status. I think he might have been. I'm not real sure. But that whole dynamic of the tax exempt status in the church got the pastors to not talk about government. Well, not only flat earth, anything that the government is involved in. They would want to steer clear of that. The problem is the beast system, the Luciferian, Illuminati, Bilderberg, all of that ilk, that group of people is largely involved through the governments of the world, not just the United States government. You know, early on, when I woke up to a lot, like in 2008, I came to believe that 9/11 was obviously an inside job. The official story just did not add up. And I never heard any of that from the church. None of them.
No.
And I never heard any of that, any of the government actual conspiracies. I never heard it from the church.
No, and they steer clear of that. Steer clear of that.
Yeah, and that's a problem because
it is a problem.
We're supposed to expose the deeds of darkness.
That's right.
And back in the champions of the faith and the flat earth, the original, you know, when we look at the literary content of the 1800s with Samuel Rowbottom and Thomas Winship and different others that wrote just stellar documents about the earth is not a globe. Those type of pretty amazing content, right?
Great stuff, yeah.
So in the context of phony Christianity, that's kind of where I just wanted to say that a lot of people got really turned off, just like people turn away from crazy actual conspiracies because of the conspiracy theories that are obviously not real. Right. They're intentionally interjected. Okay, fast forward that into what I'm mentioning about
like the government's hiding aliens from another planet.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Like that, yeah.
Well, see, people will soak up the Roswell incident or Area 51 or Groom Lake and all these different things because it's a very elaborate deception.
There's something that is strange if you just think about it. You'd rather believe in aliens than what we're living on.
I'm not. I didn't get what you said, Karen.
You broke up a little bit, Karen.
Well, they won't believe what we're living on, but they'd rather believe in aliens.
Well, and
they would.
And in the topic of alien, the scripture actually says we're foreigners as Christians, foreigners and aliens, and then we've got spiritual entities that were accounted for in scripture, the demons and fallen angels. So there is a dynamic of that. Now, here's one of the other things. I was listening to the letter of Jude. Jude is like a few minutes long to listen to, and he mentioned in Jude that Enoch prophesied about the I believe it was the fallen angels, how could Enoch prophesy and not be in the Bible? Well, I believe Enoch was edited out of the Bible we're given. Enoch actually talks about, from as best I could understand, a very accurate
Right.
depiction
You can
of
see
the sun and the moon. He talks about it, how the moon goes through her phases. Did you know that? The book of Enoch talks about that really thoroughly.
you they wouldn't want him there or that book there, can't you?
Right, and the Jesuits, another phony Christianity, along with the Catholics, another phony expression of Christianity. See, and they were involved in the Dark Ages, the Inquisition. So there's a lot of people that may say, I don't want anything to do with Christianity because of the Inquisition, because of the pedophilia. It's like, those aren't even Christians doing that. That's not even what's supposed to be happening. That's not the Jesus that I know. That's not the one who lives in and through me. That's a Luciferian expression of an apostate imposter, just like women, supposed women that have their plumbing, or individuals that have their plumbing or padding changed, doesn't change their gender, and they're parading themselves as something that they're not, and that's hypocrite, that's Hippocrates. That's got to do with they're presenting something different than they actually are. Satan even disguises himself as an angel of light, right? So there's a couple of things to consider. One of them is, I've heard it said, fear is false evidence appearing real. And then there's reality, which is real evidence appearing false, deceived individual. So it's critical to, I believe, have divine intervention to extract people from the deception. I don't believe the truth because I'm such a great guy. What happened was, God reached into my life, gave me his Holy Spirit, a love for the truth, because I'm one of his children. I'm grateful for that. Now, Satan's children that are sacrificing and torturing and sacrificing men, women, and children, drinking their blood, cannibalizing them, those are Satan's children, right? Now, they could be a child of God that needs to be extracted from that system. We do hear stories of that. Demon-possessed individuals that were set free from the demons were cast into the pit or cast into the hogs. Jesus did it. I believe he still does it today. What we've got is a false reality a lot of people are living in. They'll watch a science fiction movie, and like Gravity, or the different, like the movie The Exorcist, or other scary movies, or feel good movies. People are just living in a false reality. So I kind of went on a little bit of a rampage there, a rant, but I'm going to hand over to the floor to anybody who wants to take it for a bit.
Thanks, Robert. Flat Earth Dude, are you there?
Yes, I am. I was texting. Sorry, I was trying to text somebody. I'm meeting over here, and I'm
Astral?
back. Astral, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing not too bad. Not too bad. I was going to say, Robert, nice to see you again. Nice to see you again. You know that you made it through the storm.
Yeah,
I was looking at something the other day as well about this storm, in that it's what we saw on TV was just totally blown out of proportion. You know, we have spoke about it before. The size of the picture that they took supposedly from the ISS, and you happen to get a satellite passing through the picture as well at the same time. That was one of them, innit?
Interesting.
Fortunate.
Yeah,
How fortunate they were.
south of them. made it look like this hurricane was like half the size of the world.
Oh, it was about the size of America anyway.
Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous.
But then I've put a link in the chat there if anyone wants to see it. It was kind of interesting. This woman is into geoengineering and stuff, and she's been following these, you call them buoys.
Yes.
Out in the sea, and they've got these weather buoys, and these weather buoys hadn't picked up any, any signs of this Hurricane Florence. And this is a few days ago, 1,200 miles out to sea, not a whisper. And then how could the TV be saying it's 1,200 miles away and it's going to come ram North Carolina? It's going to come right up on Myrtle Beach or whatever, If you've not seen it, have a look because it's interesting. She raises some good points there.
So Astral, what I want to interject real quickly, on my photo album, I've got that fake satellite image. I took a picture of it, posted it, and then linked that video that you're talking about on that picture. That's part of what I want to do is to help make it easier to see. Now, I'm blocked right now from commenting on posts in groups. I don't let that stop me. I've actually got millions. Okay, so just check this out. On Facebook. So within those groups that I've posted my pictures, when I add a meme to it, it's right there. It's in that group. I can't comment on the group. I can add a picture to my album. I can add a meme to my album. It's my way of working around the restriction. And that's part of the dynamic is I find workarounds. The other thing is I've got my link to my YouTube channel. If I add, so a lot of times what I'll do on a picture is I'll have a comment on the top of the picture, and then I'll link my liked video playlist. So when I add a video, or let's say I unlike one of my videos and re-like it, it puts it right at the top of the heap there. So it's in all those groups. Once again, it's on humanity, and that's just one of the ways. I'm gonna back out for a little bit. I just wanted to interject that, Astral, is that's something that we can do, and you can see it on my photo album if you care to, and share it if you want.
Yeah. I want to check that out.
That's a good idea, Robert. That if we have 2 evidences, 3 evidences, or whatever, as many evidences as we have, this is reality, and this is what they're leading you to believe is reality.
Right. What about that guy? I'm sure, Robert, you saw the fake weatherman kind of leaning into the wind, and he was it was like trying to hold on, and the wind was blowing, and then those two guys just walked by in the background, like there was nothing going on. It was kind of crazy.
And that's part of the dynamic. There's an embellishment of situations, and
that one's waking up a lot of people, by the way.
And hopefully, sorry to interrupt, continue to be shown.
I'll be back in a minute.
That we can see that the weather, for that example, they're full of shit. That it's not exactly how you're seeing it. They propagate all sorts of crap and junk, don't they? Yeah, I yield the floor.
Yeah, so in the context of that, so one of the other things that I'll do too, and I mentioned it a bit earlier, is I'll create a page. Okay, so I created a page called Truth Seekers, Secret Weapons for Quiet Wars, and then I'll link a video to it, and it's my liked video playlist. The video that people can watch is the first video of over 1,300 videos if they want to keep on going. Then the other thing is, and this is a really important process, part of the process, is that when I create a page and I invite my 5,000 friends to like it, some people are going to go on over there and say, oh my gosh, he's a conspiracy theorist. He's a kook. He's a flat earther. I'm gonna unfriend him. I'm gonna block him or whatever. Oh well, that's up to you. And then what that does is it makes room for me to accept friend requests from others. And I've got like thousands of people that have sent me friend requests, and they become followers. I've got the follow button on my Facebook.
That's awesome.
So, thanks. And then the other
That's
thing
awesome.
that we can all do, some of this, I mean, I just kind of bumbled around into figuring this stuff out, is that my YouTube header has my Facebook and Twitter links in it, and my Google Plus links.
Smart.
So, and then when I make a video, I'll take a picture of during the video time, or I'll take my whole photo album and dump it in my my video, and then I'll link my Facebook video to my YouTube conversion of that, so that the people that go to my YouTube video can say, "Oh, there's a lot of activity here." Oh yeah. So for example, my local sun video, that's what or sun in the clouds is what I called it on my YouTube channel. It's got less than 2,000 views. In the Infinite Earth, Flat Earth Research, and other groups, it's been shared over 14,000 times and viewed 600,000 times.
Wow.
Just to show you an example of how that can spiral out because of the groups. So when I do a live Facebook broadcast, convert it to YouTube, there's a lot more potential views that it gets, because I'm not doing it to put rice and beans on the table. I'm doing it because I want to share the truth with the world that needs to hear it, and God provides for me. So as much as I can, I will do things to pay for my own stuff, so I don't have to ask people to buy it for me. And that changes the context of what people hear. I've had haters that say, "Oh, you're all about me, 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 me." It's like, no, I laugh at them. I typically laugh at the mockers. They just love it.
Right.
I'm sure their blood pressure spikes a little bit. I've got guys that have like a Porsche Spider on their cover photo, and he looks like he's living at the Ritz-Carlton, and it's like I'll just laugh at him. He calls me like I'm making a horse's ass. So Jesus wants you to make a horse's ass out of yourself, and I just laugh at him. I even called him, left him a messenger message. I said, "Hey, I see you hating on me. Feel free to call anytime. I'd be happy to talk with you." You know, and a lot of times people don't know what to do with that. It's like, "Hey, I'm not upset with you hating on me." Go ahead.
I love that approach. Being willing to, take on somebody that's just like freaking out, and you're like, let's talk about it. And if you're calm, like you always are, then that rubs off, man. It diffuses the people. Like you said, they don't know what to do with it. They're like, "I expected this guy to be yelling at me." No, he's just invited you over for dinner,
It's a little bit like turn the other cheek attitude, isn't it?
It works well.
Yeah,
it really does. I run into people in the chat, trying to pick fights, and I'm always so super nice to them. I don't ever call anybody a name or some kind of. I don't call people globetards or anything like that. So that's my approach. I yield the floor. Go ahead.
Can I just say, GoPro Flat Earth in the chat room, just asking if Robert has got his electricity back.
Yeah, in fact, we were without electricity for about a day and a half, and it's been restored for several days now. So nice, very grateful indeed. And part of the dynamic with that is we are so accustomed to electricity, it's a big deal. Now, water drives the whole electric cycle too. Think about it. Steam that's created by coal or a radioactive nuclear energy steam or hydroelectric dams, it's all water generated. Water is involved. Water changes states. If it gets cold enough, it freezes. You can drive a truck across it. Ice road truckers. I've driven on frozen lakes. We've got the evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. Then we get hydroelectric dams that generate this power. So there's an interesting dynamic with the whole water cycle of the world. It's a big deal. It's the world that we actually live in, not the false reality that we're given. Now, in the context of communications, we can leverage mobile, instantaneous worldwide communications like we're doing right now. And that's a beautiful thing. So what I've got right in front of me is some tzatziki sauce and a bunch of cats trying to eat my fish sticks. So I'm gonna, what I'm gonna do is yield the floor for a few minutes while I munch on the cheese sticks or the fish sticks and give the cats a few of them.
Well, you could do like me and just eat while you're talking. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a little bit loud. They're a little crunchy.
Yeah. Yeah. How about some? Who's in the chat? You want to invite anybody on, Karen, or?
Yeah, there's loads of people.
Anybody want to come on and talk to Robert for a few minutes?
CC wants to come on or not. He said he'd like to join.
Yeah,
So
come on for a little bit. It'd be great.
He hasn't answered yet, so.
Okay, anybody else? I don't know. Open the floor up there a little bit, Karen. Any questions or comments in the chat? I can't see the chat.
Hope Springs Eternals in the chat room. Ricky's in the chat room. Sue's in the chat room. Obviously, CC, Brian. I spelled Brian wrong now. Just put his name in the chat room and spelled it wrong. Sorry, Brian. Doing two things at once, see? Of course, GoPro Flat Earth UK Dog is in the chat room, and I met him on Sunday, and we had a really great day at the Pyramid. Pyramid and the Long Barrow. It's a really great day. And yeah. It's really nice to meet him, and I met Costa. Great.
I don't know.
Really nice.
I'll kind of break this up here a little bit. Yesterday afternoon, or around 6 o'clock last night, my time, just about dinner time, there was a live broadcast from SpaceX. I don't know if anybody caught that. It was Elon Musk and his new rocket that's going to take people to the moon. And he was introducing the first passenger that's going to be on the ship that's going to go to the moon in 2023. And he said he's going to pay for himself for a ticket, and he's inviting 7 other people to go with him. And he's paying for their tickets too. But,
wow.
And he didn't say how much this was going to cost him. He's a Japanese billionaire, runs a company called Zozo, Z-O-Z-O. I guess they do like art and clothing. I don't know. I've never heard of it. And
hey, Flat Earth, I just do this quickly. Just the chat room's moving. Brandon wanted to shout out. Joey Rocker's there. Yeah, carry on.
Joey. Peace. Hello, brother.
Sorry, carry on, Flat Earth.
Sorry. Can I say something? It's almost It's almost as if they're trying to cover all this flat Earth up now. You know, they're going hammer and tongs. That's it. You know, everything you look at on the TV, it's globe, and yeah.
We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon, and then
science is ruling this year. I'm telling you, God is just non-existent. You know, this is. I'm looking at the TV and things that I see around me. Science is trying to take over everything, you know, and that's where the war is. It's science against godliness. You know,
that's it. That's the war, and so I guess to kind of finish up the SpaceX thing, the Japanese guy came out. He had a little movie he put together about how, you know, it was a real tear-jerker movie. I teared up that it's such a great opportunity to go to the moon, and anyway, just and he's going to invite. He's such a good guy. He's going to invite 7 artists to go with him, and he was wearing a shirt that had the good old one-eye triangle there, you know, and that was interesting. And then what else did he say? Oh yeah. Anyway, they're going to do it in 2023, and it's going to be great anyway. So I watched most of it just kind of laughing. But somebody did ask him if Boeing's going to try to beat you there. And he's like, and Elon Musk is like, bring it on, man. Bring it on. I was like, really? You get a new space race between Boeing and SpaceX to go to the moon and Mars. There you go.
So one of the things that I've noticed that you might find interesting about the moon and the sun and the proximity with the zoom camera. Richie from Boston did some of this where he would zoom
he
in
did
on
a couple
a known
years ago.
distance.
He did that. Yeah.
And I've noticed it for years. I'll zoom in on a sandpiper that's 1.5 miles away, and I know that bird is like 3 inches tall, and it fills up my whole camera. And then I zoom in on the moon, and it takes me about 7 viewfinders at full zoom. So I would need like 7 pictures or so to get the whole moon in there.
Right.
I don't know how far away it is. I'm not saying I do, and I don't know the size of it, but it's a lot closer than 238,000 miles. Same thing with the sun. When the sun looks like it's in the clouds, it's for a very important reason. I believe it's way closer than we're told. And see, I notice reflections and shadows like in almost like a very interesting way. I see them all over the place, and I don't see any the light coming through the clouds to be the light beam of the sun. I don't know how the sun works exactly. I just know that it's a whole lot closer than we're told, and it's definitely not 1.5 million Earth sizes and 93 million miles away. I hesitate to even say how close I believe it is. I'm just not sure.
We're not sure.
When I use the zoom camera, the Nikon P900, I've got video that I've shot of it without any solar filter on the camera. What I utilize is the clouds, and when the sun or the moon is close to the horizon, that would be, of course, at sunrise and sunset. That's when that perspective appears. And I don't know exactly how it works, but I do know this. During midday, unless it's a really cloudy day, we're going to get a lot of sun here. That's just the way it is here. Now, when the sun is rising or setting or approaching or leaving, it's got a lot of clouds to go through because of the perspective, because of the angle and the amount of clouds it's going to have to go through. It indicates it's a lot closer. That's my point of all that. I'm going to take a breath.
It's definitely close. You know, I don't know. I'm at that. It's 93 miles away, not 93 million. Just because I know how those guys think. So
like when we've seen some of the video on like a pilot, I think the name of the video is "The Pilot Risks His Job" for showing the sun from the cabin of his jet. It's not very long, but we have that similar anomaly of the sun. It appears from that vantage point that the elevation of that plane is higher than the sun. And I don't. And then I've got another one. It is a really interesting video. I believe it's on my liked videos. You can see where the jet actually flies into and through the sun. You can see a stream of like something being disturbed when the jet hits it and it comes out the other side. I don't know what we're looking at. I don't know how that works. I know the sun gives off a good amount of heat. I acknowledge that. I just don't know how it can have that appearance. And then on some of my videos, I've got a similar size bird that I'm zoomed in. When I'm zoomed in on the sun, and one of my videos, it says, watch the birds at such and such a time that I've typed into the comment. And it looks like one bird flies in front of the sun and another bird of about the same magnification flies apparently behind the sun. It's really interesting. And I don't know what to make of it. I don't know how that can work.
Robert, can I just say that Let's Be Practical's joined us. Hello.
Excellent.
Oh,
Hey,
let's be unpractical. Come on, let's have some fun.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Nice to see you.
Yeah, we
again,
can hear you
brother.
just good.
Nice to see you.
Good to have you on.
I'm good, Flat Earth dude. And Robert, I've been binge watching your videos. I like what you do with the water and the mirrors, and it's wonderful, brother. And Karen and Astral, I've spoken to you. You guys are great also.
Oh yeah, we had a little hangout the other day, didn't we? So brilliant.
A meetup. You had a meetup, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, my first one.
Oh, that's great. That's so great. I'm glad you
I
guys
have
got
a
to
couple
hang
people
out.
that, I have a couple people that I know that are been around me enough that they see it. But to meet random flat earthers around here, it's pretty rare. But I have met one, but she's related by a step father and cousin, like she's related. So that's a little odd, also.
That's
like
awesome.
Third cousin removed. But yeah.
Okay, that's great, man. So you guys hung out at the park, or you guys were at the pyramid?
I was sitting on my couch, brother.
Oh, okay. Oh, it was a hangout.
Yes, and
I don't know.
Let's Be Practical comes in our chat room a lot.
I was thinking of GoPro. My bad. I need less fluoride, Robert. Help me out, man.
Anyways, I'll mute myself, but it's nice to talk to you. Robert, I love your work. Well, all of Karen and Astral.
All right, well,
Flatter, dude. I haven't really watched any videos
Oh,
from you
we
yet.
love you too, Let's Be Practical.
Don't watch
so
my
much.
video. Don't watch. I got nothing. No,
Well, I don't even know how to make a video, so there's that. But you guys keep up the good work, and I grow a vegetable garden, and I let the neighborhood come and pick. That's my contribution. Like, I've been planting more and more food each year, like these last 3 years.
Hey, you need to be planting some flat earth seeds, brother.
Well, that's true also, but I got to get some street cred in this neighborhood before I can talk anything that's against the norm. But
oh shit. Well, you can just like I said, it's dropping seeds, man. And say spill the whole freaking bucket on them. I just go.
Exactly.
Hey,
that's what I do. I get the eye rolls, but
just a thought for you. Let's be practical about reducing the bird activity over your garden. You can maybe have a wind chime that's real pretty, and somebody will say, wow, that's a beautiful wind chime. Yeah, how would that work on a spinning, wobbling globe upside down? If you ever want to whip that out there. That's part of the reality. When you're watering the garden and you get that light beam that's going at an angle, it doesn't mean you hit everybody over the head with it. It can be just like, isn't that water amazing? Look at what it does.
It's so flat. Water is so flat.
I did that today with a couple buddies. We were stringing a line, and we were laying a brick paver wall. And I was like, pull that real straight. It's like, you think that's level? They're like, yeah, that's pretty close. We didn't have a level line on it. I was like, now let's take this out. You think we could do that for a mile if we had enough people? They're like, yeah. And I was like, make it 10,000 miles. I was like, if you make it 24,000 miles, it's a circle. Like it becomes a hoop. And they're like, yeah.
That's really good. That's great. I like it.
If a 24,000 mile line becomes a circle, then I am my monkey's uncle, or however that saying.
You're a monkey's uncle, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't subscribe to evolution either. Well,
So-
anyways, folks.
As we've got you on, and Robert doesn't mind taking a break just for a couple of minutes, how did you get to Flat Earth? I know you told us privately, but we always like to ask people. I like to ask them when they come on the channel. How did you get to Flat Earth?
We love to hear the stories.
A little bit different, but the similar path is everyone's. Like, well, I didn't have, like, I've pushed against technology. I still have a flip phone. So we didn't have internet. Like, I didn't have internet, and when I met my wife, she it took her a couple years, but we got it. And I asked her how long we've even had the internet. We don't even know, but not real long. And like I would say less than 6 years or so. You know, and first thing I did, like, I watched a lot of gardening videos and all that stuff. That's really one of my main interests. But
there's a lot of them out there.
And YouTube comes up, and I used to get so bored on YouTube. I would see if I could go from like looking up a log cabin and then just hit the selections to get to this. And it always seemed like you could, like, from a log cabin to a muscle car. If you hit the right selections, you could. But then, then I got the 9/11, and then like what? And once I saw that, and like it all just fell into place, and I actually prayed. I was like, I just want to know the truth. And the very next thing that popped up was that Crazy Notion by Matt Boylan back then. And I'm like, I watched it. I was like, there ain't no way. I was like, all right, if this is true, I was like, I'm going to grow my beard until somebody proves it wrong to me. And I'm a hairy mess. Like, well, like, clean cut, but well, I made that promise, so I'm going to stick to it. Like, if that's my covenant, if somebody else shaves it, that's on them. If I ever get held down and they shave it, like, I'm not going to begrudge somebody, but I'll be a little irritated. I'll fight that off. Like, they'll have to pin me down to do it.
They're going to have to send you up in a rocket, man, and prove that we're spinning on a ball, man, and then you can shave it.
Yeah, I don't need to
prove it, though, are they?
You can tell from here. We know from here.
I'd like to just don't you find that this flat Earth, I mean, okay, we've all come across it in similar ways, we've just it popped up in our feed or whatever. It's almost as if, though, this is what I'm believing now. This is my own thought. It was meant to be. We were meant to find this. We were meant to discover this.
That's right.
We were meant to dig into it.
I think we were chosen to find it.
Yeah, we've got to be.
Because we're the ones that will spread it, and that seems to be the case, man.
Well,
there's very few flat earthers that don't.
I think they chose
sort of.
Because we always tell the truth no matter what, and they're looking for the way out of here, and they're hoping that we can help them because they know we just tell the truth. That's what I think they're looking for the way out. They wanted our help. I think that's why they maybe rolled this out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So who would you say?
So I'm just going to stick with truth, and then any postulation. Like, I'd like to ponder things. I shared some things with Astral and Karen, like just off the wall, crazy stuff. But that's how we're trying to figure these things out. But I just don't know if we should share postulation.
Everybody.
I'm not sure. It's tough. But I just wanted to tell the truth, help everybody through whatever's coming. Like, I'll help as many as I can until I can't, and that's my job.
Well, I think your job's going to be to help people grow food, man.
Well, right.
I think that's that's going to be you. That's your wheelhouse, man. You got to stick with what
I'm
your
going to show
wheelhouse.
people how to eat food that's already grown.
Mine is
the wild plants.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not a researcher like you guys. Like, that's a little too heady for me sometimes, but I love everybody's
And
truth.
you just introduce.
Well, I feel like I'm hogging up.
The thing about it is is truth, man. Right in your face, man. You plant the seed, you water it, take care of it, it grows. You eat it. My goodness, it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah,
It doesn't get any easier. The truth is the easiest way to live.
Yeah, and also having these little hangouts, you know, and conversations and stuff. You don't research, Richard, but you know what? Really, when we're talking like that in a sense is a kind of research, because you're thinking thoughts and you're making different connections and seeing different possibilities and what have you, you know. So it is in a sense a kind of like an open research in a way.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. I feel like I was just talking all over everybody. Yeah. I'm just excited. Like, it's nice to meet like-minded, kind-hearted people.
You were shy.
I'm still very shy. I can't believe I'm even doing this.
Oh, congratulations! Really nice. You're a really nice person. It was really great the other day meeting you on the Hangout, and I'm glad you're here. It's great.
All right. Well, you folks, please carry on. I'm enjoying the show, so I'll hang out. If you need intervention, I will do so.
Hi. Hi. Is that your little granddaughter?
Yes, she heard us talking. Can you say hi to him?
Hello. Hello, my darling. Yeah. So, well, yeah. What were you saying, Astral?
I wasn't saying anything. I'd finished. No, we were just. I was saying, yeah, it's nice that Richard comes on, and although he said he's not researching in a sense, he is, because taking part in these conversations and and what have you, you're getting different input, you're getting different, connections, and you can see things. And of course, it's all helping part of the big puzzle that we're trying to solve. Yeah.
You know, it's kind of interesting with hello.
Maybe not us can hear me.
Robert, come on, Robert. Sorry, Flat Earth dude.
Hey,
go on, Robert.
Well, I just wanted to say, we take a lot of heat for people thinking, oh, you saw it on YouTube, it must make it real, and that's part of the dynamic that the system wants to have. They want to minimize the effectiveness of YouTube. Well, like, for example, when I needed to replace the clutch in my motorcycle, I've rebuilt engines before and all that. I just never worked on this particular motorcycle, and I know enough to know that I need to know more to do it well. So what happened was I just YouTubed it, and it was a very helpful resource to look at what I needed to do. In a similar context, when we're wanting to find things out, it's important to be able to differentiate reality from the fakery. And now that we're used to seeing it, we're more prepared to notice it. Like because I take a lot of pictures, and I realize that we don't have any genuine official satellites like they tell us. The satellite arm and the picture of the storm and the size of the imaginary globe, it was all out of whack. It was not real. It was obvious to see that was not real to me. And when I see all the water seeking its level on the face of the earth, it's not just the water at the ocean, it's all the puddles around, the retention ponds, and the perfect symmetry that provides to be able to see. Now, with both the P900 and now the P1000, the viewfinder on that was absolutely spectacular, to be able to see the landscape grid that shows plumb and square. So in the in your let's be practical, to think about striking a line for brick, you can actually use a garden hose and set it up and fill it with water. And that'll be a perfect way. If you set the line to the water level on one side, it'll be the same level on the other side. It's just another way of doing it. So you can actually pour a concrete slab using a garden hose as the hydro level. It's all kind of interesting. I've actually seen that happen. It's a good way of doing it. But the other dynamic that I want to bring out to anybody listening that hasn't heard me say this before, when the sun is low on the horizon over the ocean, and when it hits the beach, it'll go across, and then if there's irregularities, high and low spots, it's easy to see them. And you might live in a place that doesn't have an ocean next to it. Well, you can go to my YouTube channel and see it. Hundreds and hundreds of hours of video showing sunrises. I don't have much with the sunsets. I'm going to need to do that. I would need to see more work from somebody on the West Coast that does that. But what I was kind of thinking of, and I don't know how we can actually work this out. Facebook is probably one of the closest ways of doing it, is to develop some type of a directory where we can contact other people. Facebook, and then using the Messenger program. Anybody that wants to can add the Messenger to their Facebook, and then we have worldwide instantaneous communications, either through cellular data or a wireless. With my iPod Touch, I've actually used our router here at home to have a long distance call to Australia, with Karen to the UK. It's amazing. And so that's one of the benefits, is the interconnectivity. Now, I believe Daniel Pratt sounds really familiar, his voice, where he made a video that he actually had me in for about, I think, 15 minutes, or it was a video where Daniel was talking. Do any of you know Daniel Pratt? Does that name sound familiar to you? It's one of the best flat earth rants. That's one of those.
Not sure. I don't always remember the names.
Yeah. So
yeah, I heard that rant. I thought it was Zachary Hubbard for some reason the first time I heard it. They have kind of the same inflections, but
yeah, and
that's one of the flat earth rants. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, that's okay. That might be who it is. I'm not sure. What happened about 2.5 years ago, I introduced my business card on a video that he turned into a YouTube video, and I started getting calls from all over the world. It just blew me away. I would get them on Messenger. I would get them on Facebook, and I make that I make my information public, because in a world where telling the truth is very unpopular, it's nice to talk to other people that are finding a safe haven with others that love the truth too, and aren't afraid to share it. And so what's really interesting to me is I'll make a video that may be viewed thousands of times, tens of thousands of times, or 600,000 times. And a lot of times people won't even react to it, but they're watching it. What's happening with that? And then the other thing is that the system, the control grid of the world opinion, when the authority wants your opinion, they'll give it to you. They'll want to insert it into your psyche, whether it's using Homer Simpson, The Family Guy, Leave It to Beaver, All in the Family.
Flintstones.
Yeah, the Flintstones. For gosh sakes, the Flintstones talked about the flat Earth.
The Jetsons. Yeah, the Flintstones did talk about flat Earth.
Yeah, yeah. And then the Jetsons, and then we have a remake of the Jetsons to try and reinforce and make that real, the space travel. And so that's all kind of weird. Now, when we had the hurricane coverage, and the Weather Channel has Elmo.
Yeah.
Has Elmo talking about the hurricane. Did you notice the globes in the background? They didn't have a globe for the adult audience. They had the child globe in the background.
I haven't seen it, no, but Elmo about the hurricane. Are you kidding me?
Well, what they did with the Weather Channel, they said a lot of children don't know what to make of a hurricane, so we're going to have Elmo describe it. And they position. They installed. Go ahead.
I hate cartoons. I think they're one of the most evil things you can do to a child.
Yeah, and part of what's happened. Okay, so this is part of how elaborate the system is. And I'm gonna give another plug for Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. I've got it smattered around a bunch on my photos just recently.
Yeah,
and it's on my liked videos. I put it up there. So here's what they talk about, or what this document explains, that people would be focused on issues of little to no eternal significance. Parents get super busy trying to make ends meet, and they hand off the quality time with the children. They put them in front of the TV. We did it. We're guilty of it. What's that, Joni?
Pineapple and bananas.
Pineapple in the garage in the old fridge. Bananas. They didn't have bananas for days.
So we have none frozen.
They're frozen in the refrigerator. They're thawed out in the mixed berry smoothie mix. I'm sorry, no individual frozen bananas. I blended them. Yes, we have no bananas. Hey, I'm back, Hangout. So what happens is the displacement of, or how would I say, the redistribution of earnings has happened. The deindustrialization of North America, they've utilized wars to do it, to break up the family by putting women in the factories with the "we can do it," showing the women pumping the arm up like they're an arm wrestler, and it was to break up the family. Rosie the Riveter, that was part of the World War II thing. And then we've got the trading with the enemy, the Prescott Bush funding both sides of the war. This kind of stuff has been going on for years. It's a false reality. And now with the television and other forms of reinforcement, the publications waiting to go through a convenience store where they've got the magazines and the tabloids that somehow reinforce the programming of the television, and then there's the movies. It's all to give people, they want to give us our beliefs and our opinions, and then they chastise or ostracize individuals that won't go along with it. And so what happened, what I've noticed with some people that understand that 9/11 was an inside job, also know that the earth is not a spinning globe. Well, what's happened with me is I've taken some heat for posting flat earth stuff in 9/11 groups. So what I did is I developed my own group, which is Flat Earth Proof, and I dump it all in there. And then I'll have a page that's Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars or Truth Seekers, and I'll just go ahead and put all the different conspiracy realities into I'll develop a page for it. And then if somebody decides they don't want to be connected with me and they leave, then that makes room for somebody else. I don't want to necessarily just unfriend people that are not going along with wanting to learn the truth. I've got friends that say, I really like your stuff, but I can't like it on Facebook because it would be too awkward for them. They won't do it. It's too
Robert, can I ask you
complicated.
something? Changing the subject a little bit. You just said something about bananas. Is all the food come in for you, or did you like all the shops sold out?
Well, it depends on what it is. Bananas have been gone for days. And I don't know necessarily why that is, but there can be outages of different things. I like to get kale. I haven't seen kale at the Costco for months. It may just be coming and going. But for example, 2 years ago, I did a video at the Walmart in North Myrtle Beach. It was a fully operational Walmart that had no food in the freezer because they lost the generator. They had generators in the building, they just didn't work. If a generator isn't properly maintained and tested, and the coils energized by operating, the diesel can run, but it may not be making any power. Well, they lost over $100,000 worth of food for Hurricane Matthew almost 2 years ago. But
for this hurricane, is it all back to normal then, where you are, or is there problems in places?
Well, there's problems in places. The weather is nice. Most of the boards are off of the windows. And now, like, for example, at the Prince Resort, though, that beautiful hotel, that won't be open for a while because they're trying to dry it out. So, some places had more problems than others. So, like, for example, when I mentioned...
Is all food back in the supermarkets and things, Robert?
Mostly, yeah. Yeah, and there's still bags on some of the gas stations, the fuel pumps. And that was what I was finding just very interesting, is why when they knew we had a hurricane coming in, I know enough to know that they should have had fuel trucks here waiting in the parking lot to fill up the tanks, and they didn't. I thought that's just odd. It's not like all of a sudden a hurricane shows up. What they did with the hurricane was move around millions of people. Now, I don't know how quickly they can create a storm. One of the comments on that video where they showed the buoys not registering the hurricane, one of the comments was they maybe generated the storm right offshore. We don't know. Because with the megaphone of the world media system, okay, so I'm gonna back up just a little bit. They have what's called future radar, and what future radar did was project what they anticipated the storm would look like. It was modeling. Well, here's what's interesting. The modeling looked like what they told us was really happening earlier. So it could have been, it could have all been modeling as far as we know. I have no way of knowing, because anybody with a couple brain cells to put together isn't going to go out in a boat when there's a hurricane coming in. They're going to get them out of the area if they can. The military ships went out. A lot of ships left areas where they would have been vulnerable. So what kind of a deal was that? What was going on there? I mean, we did have real wind. We had a lot of wind and rain, and yet all of that can be largely affected. Now, one of my friends I've known for over 30 years, Joni's best friend, my wife Joni's best friend, said that wasn't a fake storm. I know real when I see it. She said something like that. And yet she believes we live on a globe, went to the moon, and 9/11, the official story, she's good with believing that. So it's an indication of a person that I'm not going to trust their belief in something because they believe it's real when I know for sure it's fake. That's kind of like when I talked about, I've got a video I called deceived or proud, proud, deceived. And I said the first deception that I remember was when I was a child, and I believed that Santa Claus would use reindeer and deliver the presents to all the children in one night. I actually believed it. I didn't know how it worked.
I think we
I
all
was
did.
told it was real, and I
Yeah,
bought it.
yeah, we all
line and
bought
sinker.
we all bought that one.
Yeah. Yeah. And if we were to encounter some adult right now that would say, you know what, we've looked into the Santa Claus thing and we found it to be actual, we would just laugh at them, right? You know, I don't care how many letters this individual had around their name, what kind of bank account they had with their monopoly money. If they said that the Santa Claus thing was real, we know it's a fake. We know it's a fake. It's just like when we come to know that the globe is a fake,
Can I just interject something there, please?
Sure.
We saw this huge picture taken from supposedly up from the ISS, and the curve of the Earth, and I'm looking at it thinking, yeah, right, that is definitely propaganda right there. That's just to show you the curve of the Earth. It ain't showing you a flipping hurricane. The point of the whole picture, in my head anyway, was to show you how extreme the size of the hurricane was, but compared to the background of the curve of the Earth, which isn't existing, you know, only in their fisheye lenses. Did you see it? I mean, it's apparent.
Yeah, in fact, that's one of the videos. What I should say, it's one of the photos on my photo album. I pretty much put my photo album with almost all my posts because I want those albums to be out there.
Hey, Robert.
Yeah.
I hate to interrupt, but I have just a couple things I would like to say to you since, like, I watch a lot of your videos. I wish I could comment more, but I would like to comment on the Santa Claus thing. I remember when my daughter asked about Santa Claus, and I was like, well, do you want the truth? And she said yes, and I got grief from all of my family. But I was like, I don't know if there ever was a Santa Claus, but I know who brings your gifts is your grandma, your grandpa, your mom and dad's. And she's like, why would they lie about that? I was like, I don't know, kiddo. Like, but I caught some flack for that years ago. And can I mention something about how you said the garden hose?
Yeah.
Is a level. Like, you could take that out to a pier with a clear tube. And everybody, like, as soon as it got to their eye level, both ends would be at the same level, no matter how you raise that tube. Like, if you had a 6-foot tube in front of them,
yeah,
no matter what kind of hoop you put into it, but show them right there at the pier, like your bottle does. But that will give them an extra, like, because you could hold one way out or one way close. But
yeah, you're right. Now, one of the a couple of things that I wanted to say to everybody, and especially since you mentioned you would like to be able to comment, what I did in the past couple of days, it was 2 days ago, I opened up commenting for everybody. Even I used to have it where only friends could comment because it got a little bit complicated with people trolling in on me. And what I decided to do is open it up. And it's been a real pleasure to see people taken up for the truth when there are people coming in and lying about this, about me, and about what this is. So now everybody can comment.
I had one more comment for you, and this was the most important one to me. Oh, this was brilliant, man. I was watching one of your videos, and I was telling a couple of friends earlier, I was like, man, I was like, he's really Christian. Like, he's like a brave Christian. And so I was trying to think, like, would Robert care? I was watching one of your videos, and I was like, would he care if I just like said he's just like he's a really strong Christian brother, and you dusted the camera off with the brush and you looked in it and smiled, and I went like, oh, I told my wife, I was like, you won't believe what just happened, like right when I was thinking that, I don't know if I was watching, I don't think I was watching that one live, but right when I was thinking that, you took a little brush or something and dusted off and looked in the camera and smiled, and I was like, I'm not going to be offended by anything.
That's
So,
cool. I think
I
I
wanted
did
to share
that.
that with you, man. It was really
did
cool.
That just the other day, didn't I?
Yeah, I saw it a couple days ago, but yep, it's like the mist was hitting it, and you took a little brush and you looked in and nodded, and I was just thinking, would he be offended? Like he'll like that. He's a strong Christian brother. Yeah, so that was confirmation.
Thanks. Well, one of the other things that have you shared with some of your Christian friends my Eternal Perspective audio Bible playlist. Have you ever seen that?
I don't really have any Christian friends.
Oh, okay. But the audio Bible, have you seen that one, that playlist?
No, I haven't, Robert.
It's called Eternal Perspective, and it's hundreds of hours of the audio Bible merged with the beauty of sunrises in that, and more. It's the name of the list is Eternal Perspective. That's what it is right now. I think I'm probably going to develop a page for that too, and I may call it God's Word, something like that. And what'll happen is it's a further part of the sorting process, or I may just dump that into. I did already. I put it in with Truth Seekers. But what I was going to say about the water level, I have a 2-foot carpenter level, a craftsman sitting on a post, and it's matched perfectly with the horizon, and you can see the bubble in the middle, and that's kind of a setup for people. What I mean is I'm setting them up. I actually want
Tell
them
the
to say,
truth.
yeah, that's too small. And
Right.
and my response to that is, well, then let's just use all the water in the world. The water that covers the face of the earth, the physics and the properties of it. But here's the thing to keep
bendy
in
water. Bendy water?
Bendy water.
bendy water. Well, you know what I've talked
Robert,
about
can you
too.
see my face?
Go ahead.
Can you see my face right now?
Let me see.
I just wanted to.
I want to make sure I'm getting the right one.
I wanted to present myself to you, buddy.
Oh, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, cool. And your puppy too, huh?
Oh yeah, this is Icky.
Hey, that's a flat Earth beard, man. That's a non-spinning globe beard.
Yeah, it's been
That's
3
probably
years.
Never... Awesome.
3 years. Like, look.
Wow.
It's longer
3
than
years,
it looks.
man.
It's
3
great.
years,
Lots of stress, man. Yeah. It's only 3 years. I wish it was longer, man. I wish I was more wise. But there's wisdom in whiskers, man, and I'm growing mine out.
There you go. There you go. Well, you know, it's really
That's
interesting.
great.
No matter how much of the truth we back up to somebody's or present to somebody, it's not about the evidence. It's about the individual and their desire to know the truth. It's more of a heart issue.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right.
I got more hearts and brains, and that's got me in trouble my whole life.
Well, it sounds like you're in a good place now, though.
Yeah, I'm getting better every day. Working on it. That sounded like that harder every day video crap, but I've been here
every day.
Well, you know, one of the things
I hate that video, by the way.
Yeah. One of the things I'll do too, and I don't know how many of you do this, is I'll go on over to a video that's maybe got millions of views, like a Bill Nye video or a Neil deGrasse video, and I'll just put hashtag water seeks level, or I've got water seeks level. That's one of my boilerplate comments.
I think you should start doing no bendy water.
No bendy water.
No bendy water.
Well, you know,
with an English accent.
There you go.
No bendy water. You ain't bendy water.
Well, and then
you
what
need
it
to
be
say,
like
Flat
even
Earth
on
dude.
the
You
even
need to
on
say,
the videos that are like relaxing music and showing waterfalls and that, I've got them on my liked videos. I'll put
Right.
Water Seeks Level or Flat Earth Research, that type of thing, or Flat Earth
There you
Proof.
go.
And I'll typically put prior to that, excellent sharing. Bleep off DeGrasse.
Richard,
I
that's
like
brilliant.
That's good.
Robert, did
That's
That's
awesome.
pretty
That's a
good.
meme.
Very
Hey, hold
clever,
that
man.
up. Hold that up, please, Richard. Again, that brother. I
Robert,
need
look,
to meme that. That's cool.
What
oh,
are we
he's going to
showing?
get.
Hold it a bit up. Yes.
Keep off DeGrasse, man.
Bleep off the grass. Brilliant.
That's
Well,
that's
the
good.
bleep was before I realized he was just fooled. Also, he might not even be. What if he's just fooled? But I still wanted to share it because I saw that years. Like this is a couple years old. I saw a
That's
keep off the
great.
grass sign, and that's what I turned it into. Like that's an actual keep off the grass sign. And then I thought of one, beware of the dogma. Yeah, like yeah, just use what they got against them. Yeah, that's the cheapest way to do it. And I heard that from IPS, which who I never really. He never touched my heart, but he had some good ideas. But I'll just keep it at that. I like the people who touch my heart, and those are the ones that I am drawn to, like you guys.
Hey,
Oh.
thanks so much. I appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely, Robert. Like you're so brilliant. Like I wish more people saw how brilliant you are. But I don't agree with everything you say, Robert. But of course I wouldn't, and nor should I yet. I'm not on the same walk as you, but I enjoy it, man. Like I really do, brother.
Oh, thanks. Now, whereabouts do you live?
I'm in Ohio.
Oh, okay. Now, have you ever made it out to the Myrtle Beach area?
Nope. And my wife's been wanting to see the beach.
Well, does she watch any of the?
Seen it. I seen it when I was 19. I went to Orlando. I had a buddy live down there, and we went to the beach, and that's the only time I've ever seen the ocean. But that was years ago. I was 19.
Well, just so you're aware, the winter starting now, there should be some pretty good discounts for out here, and we do get a lot of people from Ohio that come here. A lot of people from the Midwest and the Eastern Seaboard, all up and down. We're getting visitors from Florida because the red tide there is so bad. And this is a beautiful area. It's a beautiful time of the year. It gets really, really nice.
You think the red tide's a real thing?
Well, there's
like dangerous, how they say, or it's hard telling.
Well, that's a good question. You know what? I don't trust them much, but it doesn't look healthy, and it's killing a lot of stuff. So I wouldn't go out in it.
Wonder if it's manufactured.
Well, to a certain extent, it is in that it's accelerated because of toxins or fertilizers, which are creating and they've created a system that's not healthy for the ecosystem. But you know how bad is it? I don't know. I have met people that came here instead of going there because of the red tide. They mentioned that to me. They came from up north a little ways away, and they were going to go to Florida until they found out about it. So that's killing the economy there. That's so some of these things like a hurricane, there's no telling how many tens of thousands of people not only didn't come here, it's what the damage did to the economy. How is that? And so a lot of these people that were affected by it probably, I don't know if they would want to know that it's that there's other factors involved than just a random occurrence of nature. If they were to realize that, yeah, there's corporations that are creating droughts and floods, and I don't have to figure out whether or not they want to hear it. I'll just tell people, I'll just make it available, and some people will see it and believe it or not. So I'm not into the results. I'm just responsible for being obedient. So I'll do what Jesus wants, and everybody can deal with it however they want to. Or
I told my mom, I was like, I'll leave everybody behind for the truth, whatever that's going to be. And she's all right with that because she's a strong Christian woman, but it's tough. But Robert, if we ever become kindred enough, I would like to shoot a game of pool with you somewhere, sometime on a flat stationary table, brother.
Hey, that'd be awesome. I'm
not really good. I guess like I was at one time at my A game, I was a C player, but
I'd love to take you up on that, Richard. I love playing pool. I've not played it for
absolutely
many years.
Hey,
but
it's
I used to
billiards.
love
Billiards.
it.
Now, have you heard me comment on even a friendly game of billiards wouldn't work on a globe?
That's right. I've heard you comment on that.
Yeah, and it's so true. I mean, when we have even just a little irregularity, just a little bit of a slope, you can see it. Even a friendly game of marbles. See, here's part of the reality of all this. It's not just one thing. It's not just a level. It's not just a puddle. It's not just the water. It's that things don't stick to the bottom of a spinning ball. They just don't. That's all a fabrication. So my condescending comment typically will be, when people are considering themselves so intelligent, I'll just simply say reality exposes the global lie. It just does. So somebody's in La La Land. They'll criticize me for being a patient in a mental hospital and being on medications. And yeah, that was the case. I was. It's not like I was locked up for years. I was suicidal and they put me in there for a while, but it was the medications that led to that. That's the thing that goes on with that. That's part of the management system, is to drug humanity, whether they're on a pharmaceutical and just whacked out, or the fluoride, or the different chemicals in the food and the water. And that's a big thing. And
can I share an idea for a very expensive pamphlet?
What's that?
Can I share an idea for a very expensive pamphlet?
Sure.
Like a handout?
Yeah, like a old bill envelope, but actually put like $1 in there, put it face down, or $1 up, put it on the back. Just write something on here. On the back, I don't know who. This is not my quote. I even say it's not my quote, but outer beauty captures the eye, inner beauty captivates the heart. And then tell them this is a gift for them, and then say right here, like, is the earth really flat? And then it'd be nice if you opened it up and then opened up your $1, and then there was a pop-up like of a heart or something. Yeah, something like that, because everybody's gonna pick that up. But
that is expensive.
It's expensive, but you only do that every now and then. Like you put a lot of heart into it, and hopefully it goes to the good person.
I do.
Isn't he? He's a right sweetie pie.
I do flat smack the homeless. I'll give them $1. I'll flat smack them hard, but I tell them, look, I give you the $1, but you got to tell 3 people, man, the earth is flat. All right? And if they're going to ask you, why do you think it's flat? You're going to say, well, water doesn't bend on a ball, man.
I like to write on my notes, my money, you know, that research flat Earth or the Earth is flat, you know, that kind of stuff.
There you go.
Because, yeah, I know
Hey,
it doesn't
man,
last
it
long in
all adds up,
circulation,
man.
but it's out there. Yeah,
Maybe we should ask people
That's
to
why we were
tell
chosen
us
to
something
do
we
this.
don't know. Like, what's a truth you have that I never heard of, and see how far they go. Like, if they're the
I
flat
like
Earth,
that.
like ask
I
people,
like
like,
it.
like what's something that you know that most people don't, like something like that. That'll engage them. Like, oh, yeah,
I
I've heard
want
about
some
this.
insight. Give me some of
We've
your
already heard
inside
about it.
information.
Yeah, like we've already heard about it, most likely, and we can
Most
add
likely.
on. Right, most likely, but
yeah,
it'd be great if we didn't.
99 out of 100. You'll.
Oh, and if it's something credible, we learn something new.
You'll be like, yeah, I heard about that. Tell me more.
Yes, badass.
And you always whisper too, man.
Oh,
Hey,
I'm
man,
sorry.
tell
That's
me
how
more.
I talk, man. My bad.
No.
Can you guys still hear me when I?
There's that thing, man, that whisper, like, hey, man, you want to buy a watch? You know, people always like.
I always
like,
say, people say, I got the face for radio. I have the voice for the telegraph. I know I'm like, I know my voice.
That's hilarious.
My voice is off-putting to me, at least. I hope I come across at least.
Oh, Richard!
I just hope you hear it. Well, we all know when you hear. Karen, I'm not one that's ever been recorded. There's probably less than 200 photos of me out there.
Wow. Well, here
Now
you
I'm
are live on Hangout on YouTube.
You're all over the
internet. I'm not afraid. Like, cut it up. I'm telling my truth. If you don't, somebody wants to edit.
Exactly.
Look bad.
You
I don't
know,
give it.
Robert handles the criticism very well.
That's why I love Robert. Put me on Beauty Pie. I'll show you what to do. I'll dress up my car and like.
He goes all out, man.
Owned it.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not even that. I'm pretty fearless, but Robert, you are fearless, brother.
I'm a coward compared to all of you guys, and I'm stepping out of that shell. Like,
well, I appreciate you stepping out, man, and you're gonna help us all.
Right.
Grow some food, man. We're gonna grow some flat Earth food, man.
I'm gonna save everybody I can. Like, that's my goal.
That's your thing, man. That's your wheelhouse, man, and that's why you were woke to this this terrible deceptions, man.
And I was kind of down in the doldrums. Hey, sorry.
But these kind of hangouts,
talking to Astral and Karen the other day got me back out in my garden, and neighbors were stopping by like, man, we wondered what happened to you, man. Like,
dude, yeah, you got to come on. Come on here. There's 24/7 Poncho Pete. I don't know if you know about him.
I know about him. I've seen his name all over the place, but I've never been.
It's a truth, hangout. It's open 24/7, man. And if you got an itching to talk about something or bring something up, then there'll be somebody there to listen. Or sometimes you just go on there yourself and just yak, this is what's going on today. Let me tell you what I saw. Blah blah blah. Whatever. And there's great outlets now, man. There wasn't this kind of outlets 2.5 years ago, man. They weren't there. I was freaking out, man. I didn't know what to do.
I've been called pathetic and everything from people that really care about me, but I tell them I don't care. Like, this is the truth, and you can't see it.
But we have to gather together, share ideas.
Right? No, I want them all come with me. Anybody the nasty people have been to me, that person's still welcome to walk behind me.
Absolutely.
Like, when they know they need me, I'll be right there, and they'll be like, all right.
I'll hand them an apple and say, here you go.
Or you wouldn't act like that. Like, yeah. We know they don't see it, or they wouldn't behave as such.
Yeah. Well, it's a combination of television, cartoons, and fluoride, and really bad food like McDonald's and that kind of crap, And
well, so part of it is, I believe this. When I was at the Flat Earth conference, and one of the sound bites that Brady recorded, he said, when I said they're lying and I ain't buying, he said, who's they? And I said,
Right.
well, Satan. And then I had more to say, but they took the. I'm not upset that they edited that.
They added it. Of
They
course
let
they
other
added.
people say
I see your face when you talk. That's how I'm used to hearing you talk, but it's not necessary.
Yeah, well, you know what ended up happening though is it was true that NASA's lying, the Bilderberg, the Illuminati, all of that's true.
Man, it's
And
horrible.
what I have said to them that didn't make the cut, but I've made my own videos about it. I was part of the deception. I didn't even know
That's
that I
right.
was promoting it.
Oh, here's the thing, Robert, man. If you see something on the news, like you know, some whatever it is, it could be a news story, and you go to work and you start talking about it, you are part of the deception,
Right.
right?
Right.
I mean, you don't even know it, and you don't even know it, man. So if I see, I obviously try not to watch the news at all, but occasionally I'll catch something, you know, and I'll go out and I'll start talking about it. You know, I'm part of this deception, but I'm aware now enough to say I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to bring it up, and all people bring it up all the time, man. You know, this news story, that news story, and I just keep my mouth shut, man, because I do not want to participate in it.
So part of how elaborate this is the silent weapons for quiet wars is shock testing the economy, shock testing the
Right.
humanity,
Right.
creating a situation and measuring all the social media responses, all
Right.
of the reactions. I got a 3-day, I got put in a 3-day timeout because one of my friends made a really cool 3-minute funny video. I went to his 100 shares and I laughed on all of them, or I went, wow. I think it was, I laughed at it because it was funny.
Yeah.
And I got locked out for 3 days from commenting in groups because of that. Or apparently that's when it happened. So I've got to be real careful on how
Yes, you
much.
do. You got to be clever, but you're coming up with clever ways of doing it, and
thanks.
And you're a front runner in the Facebook fight, man.
Well, thanks.
For
I really
flat Earth,
appreciate that.
Earth especially, man, and truth in general. But it's you. I don't do Facebook. I look at it once a month. I do have a page, but it's my personal page, and I just don't do anything with it, man, anymore. And if I do anything, I post a moon picture that I took or something, simple, and I say that's 238,000 miles away. Can you believe I got such a beautiful picture of that? And that's it.
Oh, yeah.
And people are like, oh, it's beautiful. Yeah. Nobody ever says, dude, man, 238,000 miles? Are you fucking kidding me? Please.
So one of the things that we have on almost all of our Google Earth or other renderings like that, it'll say satellite image.
Right.
So when we lived in Wisconsin and I zoomed in on our address and I could see the burn pile in the backyard and the old Volvo station wagon out there, I'm thinking now looking back on that, knowing what I do about photography, if that was a picture taken from a satellite, there wouldn't be a satellite made that could carry the kind of lens that it would take to zoom in that far.
238
miles.
238 miles, dude.
Yeah.
250 miles. Are you kidding me? Come on.
Yeah. So
the
what
lens,
we have,
even my 10-inch telescope can't do that.
Right. So that's part of when people are hating on us, and I know they're deceived about the globe. I'm not. It's not like I worked up some kind of, oh boy, I'm pumping myself up so I can believe we're not on a globe.
It's all about you, Robert. Come on, man. It's all about you.
Well, I it's funny because I know we're not on a globe. So when we are, okay, so this upcoming Friday in Myrtle Beach, we're going to have a Flat Earth meetup with Nathan Roberts. Yeah,
you have to go live.
Well, I know that Nathan probably will be going.
Nathan
live.
Thompson.
Nathan Roberts.
Nathan Roberts.
Yeah, he authored the book, The Doctrine of the Shape of the Earth.
You have to like do something live, man. Even if it's just YouTube. YouTube would be great. But you can do Facebook, I guess. Do Facebook live. whatever you can do live.
Yeah,
it'd be nice to have a little interview on the beach for an hour, half hour, or something.
Well,
that would be great.
That's one of the things that Nathan and I need to talk about. It was kind of like, okay, so the first time we did this was a little more than a month ago or so, when the Creation Ministries International is having their conference there, and Nathan and I were not allowed to go in.
No, but you be outside, man. Be outside. It's better anyway. People go out and smoke and whatever.
Oh, we couldn't even go on the property. We were unwelcome.
Oh my goodness. Damn.
So I made a video.
Plan B.
Yeah, well, my video was my access to. I was not allowed to attend the Creation Ministries International Conference. Now, this is a guy that I've seen on Creation Ministries videos, and he was interviewing, and the comment was, if you can find one thing that proves that you're wrong, it makes the whole thing false. Well, curvature is the big thing. And I believe the video by Truth is Stranger Than Fiction was Stubborn Creationists. He featured that ministry. Answers in Genesis, he got it wrong. That's Ken Ham, who's got the ark that he built up in the mountains, and Creation Ministries International. So when I interact with those people and see the hatred they have for me, when I'm bringing the truth to them, I'm wondering, am I even looking at a genuine brother in Christ that's deceived? Or am I looking at a child of Satan that's promoting a false religion? Because they certainly aren't promoting biblical Christianity when they give us the Masonic globe, when they're giving us the false reality. So I don't know how they fit in. I just know that there's a lot of people that are going to get the worst news of their eternity. And this is what Jesus said in Matthew 7:21. Many are going to say on that day, Lord, Lord, didn't we drive out demons, work miracles, and prophesy? And he says, away from me, you evildoers, I never knew you. That verse really, God used that to wake me up. I thought, if I'm truly born again and I'm supposed to be a free in Christ, free indeed, why am I a slave to my flesh, my sinful, selfish desire? Why am I struggling so much with this? And then I would go to Romans 7. Why do I do that which I hate? Who's going to rescue me from this body of death? What I found out is I didn't have the power of the Spirit. Like what I told the Gabriella today, I said, it was like I was a child of God. I just wasn't born again yet. I said, it's kind of like a computer that's not plugged in. I wasn't plugged into the power source. I didn't have the energy of God to overcome the sinful nature and the temptation of the devil. So to think that I can just go, oh, the Bible's true, oh, the Bible's real, and it's impossible for me to live out, I'm going to need some help here. So that's what happened. And I tried living up to the measures of Scripture or the commands of Scripture for years. And I'm not saying I don't sin now. I just don't put it on my to-do list like I used to. So the difference of being empowered by God and not is so obvious to me for what my life is like. So what I wanted to do is,
I forgot to mute. Sorry.
Oh, okay. What I was going to say is I was getting ready to wrap this up because Joni got home and I'm going to go ahead and spend some time with her. Before I go, though, I wanted to say, is there anybody that wanted to ask me anything or tell me anything before I sign off for this this hangout?
Anybody in the chat room got anything to say to Robert? There he is with his new haircut.
Hey, yeah, here I am. Let's see, and what else can I show you now? Like what I didn't show you earlier is let me flip this around. I've shown you before. So here we've got the shower. There we've got the flat map. Let's see. Do you think the water will stick to it? Well. There you go. Oh, but wait, there's more. Yep, that toilet water is still doing it. And there's the bathtub that will spin in either direction. All I need to do is that. Go ahead. What was that?
Well, I would like to say something, Robert.
Go ahead.
Nice to see you face to face. Is probably the closest I can be for a long time. I appreciate you, brother. Man, you're inspirational for sure. Like, you've touched my heart. I know you tell your truth, and I'm trying to tell mine, and I'll at least walk beside you, brother. So.
Hey, thanks so much. And you know what I wanted to say too is you can call me anytime too, either on my landline or messenger. Did you do
I see you
private
up a card. I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry. I interrupted. I've seen your number on cards and stuff that you hold up to the camera.
Yeah, so you could use that if you want, or Facebook Messenger is free. I don't know what your calling plan is, but
I don't have Facebook. But I've never. We were on there for a couple months, and the wife and I had issues with exes and all that. So never really been on Facebook.
So if I think I understand correctly that you can actually have a messenger account if you want to, and not do Facebook. I think.
Cool.
I've had people I've interacted with on Messenger that I'm not connected on Facebook, but I don't know if you need an account.
Well, if I hit you in a video chat or something, like if I need help.
You can use the back chat of this hangout to talk to each other if you wanted to.
I don't know what that means, Garrett. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
I'm really dead
Well,
still.
here's a simple one for you. There's a simple one for you, Richard.
Yes, Astral.
In YouTube, you have an account. You can go into your notifications. You can write to people through there when you connect to them. So, I mean, it's
Okay.
you can have a look. I'll try and help you if I can at some point, you know, to figure out what exactly it is you need to do. But it's relatively simple. You can go into your YouTube account. There's a settings thing, and you can write messages to people that also have accounts. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, sure. It's all jargon.
Robert,
But
you have to
I would
leave
love
now,
to
Robert.
communicate with Robert. Like,
Oh, thanks. Well, thanks.
Oh, there you go, Robert.
Hey, thanks so much for having me on today. I've really enjoyed the time hanging out with y'all. And this is an invitation for anybody that's in the chat or that watches this video later. One of the things that's happening is it's hard for me to keep up with all my notifications on Facebook. On a given day, I might have around 1,000 notifications, and I'm not getting to all of them. So it doesn't mean I'm ignoring. I just am not I'm not able to keep up with them all. However, a call on Messenger,
Come on, Robert.
or
You can
Facebook,
do better. You can do better.
What's that?
1,000 a day. Come on, you can do better than that. Come on.
You know, it's funny. I've left this as I've left all my notifications go to Google just to prove if Joni says, "Nah, you don't really chat or know people all over." Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I get a lot of notifications. Some people will say, like on my photo album, 2,000 photos. Who's got time to look at that? I don't know. A lot of people do and like them. I don't get too many angry faces on my stuff. Every now and again, somebody does. But what's interesting, now that I've opened up commenting on all my stuff, there's no way I'm going to be able to keep track of all the trolling that's going on. I'm just kind of letting it go and letting people that really love the truth stick up for me on that. If I don't get there to, I'm not going to be able to make somebody believe the truth. It's really on them to want to know it, as best I can tell. And as best I can tell, that was a gift from God to me, is a love for the truth, no matter what it costs. And it sounds like I'm connected with a lot of people that love the truth as well. Looks that way. So thank you all so much for having me on.
I love you, Robert.
I love you all too.
Hey, I don't know if you can hear me or not. My internet's kind of bad, but thank you, Robert. Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much, Robert. And it's good to see you again, and that everything's all right and your house is still intact. You know, hopefully other people have got their houses intact as well. You know.
Yeah, thank you
Thanks,
so
Robert.
much.
Nice to meet you.
All righty. Good night, everybody. Big hugs.
Thank you, Robert. Much love. Mwah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye, darling.
Take care of those kitties.
That's it. He's gone now. We have been going for over 3 hours. Do you think it's a good time to end our hangout now anyway, guys? Or do you want to chat for a bit longer?
I think maybe we could have a little look in the chat. There was a question there a minute ago by somebody. What was it? Just let me have a look. You can shout out the chat room there, dude. You're good at that. While I look for the question.
I'm not sure if he's in his car or not. We've got NJ Jeep Girl. Well, I can't even say the rest of their name, but it's a girl. Anyway, you know which one I mean. Mwah to you. Tara's in there. Amrock. The Sute.
Amrock.
Plain Truth.
Sute.
Boy.
Vibration.
Oh, yeah, here was the question. Sorry, here was a question. Plain Truth 101. Sun and Moon. I've been filming the Sun and Moon for almost a week now and can't see any spots. And some of the sky watching channels have been putting out pictures with big chunks showing. Any thoughts on that? I don't know what that is because I've not been looking at the sun through a telescope or anything, only through my eyes. Anyone else notice anything about the sun? Range.
Well, last night we had the Boogeyman channel on. He was picking up some very strange shaped suns, wasn't he? And things. He showed us some pictures of sun with bits missing. It's all, yeah, incredible. So, Astral, now you've asked the question, we can't answer it.
Yeah, typical. Maybe someone will know about it or something. But anyway, we know what we're seeing and what we're led to believe is happening is not two of the same things, are they? I mean,
what did you think last night when Boogeyman was our real sun comes up, then comes the chemtrails and whatever they've got to do, and then we have this thing. What are you doing? Dude, where are you?
I'm right here. You guys hear me?
Yeah, we heard you.
Yeah.
well, we didn't hear you.
Right.
We heard you.
I don't
we heard
know.
your seatbelt alarm
Dude,
going off.
Yeah, it was my car. I'm moving again. I was stuck in a position. I had some bad reception. Let's say that.
Well, he's got bad reception again.
Anyway, it was great.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah, I'm like in and out. I'm in and out. But thank you. It was, I don't know, crazy world, man. We're living in. I love it. I love it. I love it.
It is. It's nice that Let's Be Practical Richard has come on as well.
That was great.
Yeah, here he is.
Great.
Thank you, folks, for the platform. And dude, I'd like to do a little bit sometime, like off air, but
Yeah. Anytime, man. I don't know. I'll put my email in the chat. You want to hang out?
I don't know if I'll know how to figure that out, but
No,
sure.
the back.
Do
you know about the back chat? You know about the back chat?
I think Karen mentioned that. I think they sent me a picture, but my wife had to find it for me. Like, dude, I swear, like I'm a dunce when it comes to
Fuck
computers.
you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope he's all right.
You still got the ones I sold you? Nah. Give me a picture, motherfucker.
Yeah, it sounded violent for a second, but I think it's a.
I thought he was talking to us. I realised he was
Call
talking
me,
to someone.
dude. Anytime. Call me.
Well, it's always a really nice hangout.
Dude, life's good, man. Shit, I'm still here, right? Shit, that's all we can ask for.
A little bit for a minute.
Oh shit, there's Chris. I gotta
He
fucking
doesn't
flip him
realise
off.
that we can hear him, I don't think.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah,
it's
it's a really great night. Robert's a really
Dude,
nice
how's your
guy. I
beautiful,
thought he was going
family?
to talk a bit more about the hurricane, really.
Aren't
Yeah,
they
it's gone
amazing?
now. On we
Come
go.
on, man, dude. That's the most amazing thing you'll ever happen in your
Thanks,
whole
Flat
life,
Earth,
man.
dude.
It's really,
Thank you, Let's Be Practical, Rich. It's
you
really
would
great.
fucking die for that.
Smash and thank
You know
you
what
to
I mean? That kind
everybody
of love
in the
don't
chat
come
room.
around too often.
Mwah. And
man, when you have that,
we're
man,
back on Thursday
it's so
with this
awesome,
guy
bro.
called Des Walsh, who reckons that he's
Maybe.
going to
You're still
Edge,
young
and they're
enough.
nearly ready to go.
How old are you now?
Whatever the Edge is. Anyway, we're going to
Okay,
talk
one more,
more
man.
on Thursday.
You can
Anyway,
do
it was
You can
really
do
great,
one more.
Richard, that you're
Your
on.
wife's younger than you, right?
Flat Earth Dude's gone.
Okay. Not that young.
Flat Earth
Can I
Dude.
say something to the chat, please?
Yeah, sure.
All right, well.
I'm sorry if I'm misunderstood in the chat or why I'm even on this
I just
panel.
came from Pets, man. Yeah, I love that.
There's a lot of good people out there in the chat, and I'm just here telling my story. It's not as romantic as a lot of people, but I'm a real dude, and I'm here for everybody. So that's the truth. Thank you.
Oh, I want to give you a hug.
Oh,
Brilliant.
you guys already did. You guys have hugged my heart. You got me motivated again. I needed it. Like, I was really down in the doldrums, and my garden was full of weeds.
I don't know if you guys heard that. Hopefully,
I'm unweeding my garden. And
hey, can you grow some?
Oh.
Did you say weed? What? I'm just kidding. No, man.
So,
you're a grower, man.
You were talking then. But you're saying something. What are you saying?
I was saying that he's the grower, man. He's going to help us grow stuff, and on this beautiful flat plain we're living on, and that's his wheelhouse, man. That's where he has to go, and it's great, man. Everybody's got their part. So
I have a thousand wheelhouse. I have 1,000 wheelhouses. Like,
he's beyond himself because he didn't think that he'd be on a hangout, and now he's been on a private one, and now he's on a public one. So well done, Richard.
Thank you, Karen. And that is my birth name. That's the truth. I'm not trying to fool anyone here.
Yeah, and
Richard, we know who you are. We've met you before. You know, you're a good guy, man. So yeah, it's nice that you come on, you know, and tell us a bit about your story and stuff. Very nice. So you're welcome.
Well, I appreciate the time, folks. And anytime you need a little odd perspective on things, hook me up and I'll be welcome to come on.
Practical.
But I'm in the chat most of the time, so not always. Like, can't do it always. We don't have the same schedules, but I try to catch most of the live ones. I really enjoy it, Karen. Like, you're a blessing, and thank you all.
I'm glad you're there.
Yeah, we know it's the truth.
Yeah, and yeah, thank you for that. That's really sweet of you. Let's be practical. And well, now you're part of the family, so you'll have to come back.
At your discretion. Absolutely.
Oh, right, sweetie, you are such a gentleman as well. That's nice to know. Does anybody else want to say anything before we go? No one's saying anything. Well, on that note, then, Astral.
I just want to say thank you. Thank you to you, Karen. Thank you to everyone who's been taking part of this. You know, not just tonight, but every night. It's always interesting. It's nice to hear from Robert again and everyone in the chat room. I just say thank you.
Cool. Are you there, Flat Earth dude? He's talking, I think, to someone else. Anyway, yes, thank you very much to Astral, to Let's Be Practical, to Flat Earth Dude, to Robert, and to everybody in the chat room. I always say good morning, good afternoon, good evening from us. Anyway, mwah!